All right, welcome in to the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Wednesday edition, always presented by Go Chevrolet. Coffee being made.
Ooh, it smells so good.
By Katie here, the coffee every day, presented by Metropolitan Health Group. Shout out to Charles Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and the crew. Real doctors, real solutions.
Jason
over at
Ramazan.
Ramo?
He's trying. He wanted us. I don't know. Maybe we come up with it during the show. He wanted us to come up with a bet
Oh, yeah, I saw that
between
on Twitter.
you guys and then me and Katie. So I don't know what we want that to be for the game tonight.
We're making a Phil's lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a Phil's
But
lunch.
what if you have to do if you? Well,
So
that's the loser.
LSU wins.
I was gonna think
you
you-
buy.
I wanted you guys to do something embarrassing, like.
No, loser has to sleep here for the night.
I wanted you to have to like wear maroon or wear a Mississippi State shirt or.
How about
you
we
know.
flip the security camera inside on the undisclosed location, and whoever loses has to crash here for the weekend.
Stay up for 24
Slumber
hours.
party cannot leave.
Cannot leave.
That. All you have to do is Uber Eats. You have a bathroom and a shower in the undisclosed location,
And we got coffee.
and you got coffee.
Hey, I'm a fan of that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Rambo-
we need to workshop this, but
Rambo and Harvey.
we're coming for you.
Metropolitan Health Group bringing our coffee every day. Love the new addition to the undisclosed location as Derek Stingley Jr.'s jersey presented yesterday by Senior with a double autograph from the coach and from Junior here at the UDL. We appreciate it.
I feel like that sounds like a country in
shipping
the Middle
company?
East or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might be.
That feels like UFO-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Try to find us.
Try to find
UDL.
us. Yeah.
Some people
The
put
Capitol's going to come after us and release the documents.
Alan Faneca. How about it, man?
That's
Hall
awesome.
of Famer. Waited 6 years. We'll ask him about the wait, then getting the knock.
This camera's kind of
The
crazy,
knock.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
I'll fix it.
Okay.
I kind of like that angle right there.
I mean, I
though.
don't mind. The angle doesn't bother me. I just
I'm
didn't know if
switching so we
Katie
can
wanted
see.
to be in the shot.
Oh, yeah. Don't look at anything weird on your computer. Katie.
Are you watching porn?
She's preparing her tweet to send for the LSU basketball game tonight. She's already calling it. Game's over. Tigers win. Alan Faneca's going to come at 7:30 this morning. 8 a.m. We're going to talk to Ben Mintz. Money Mintz making his first appearance here, his debut appearance on the Jordy
I miss
Culotta
that
Show.
guy.
Yes, we do. We're looking forward to our conversation with Ole Miss's finest. Got the hammer here on the couch.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
no particular reason. Just got
Jordy's a
some
big hammer guy.
Some things and hands were yep.
Big time hammer guy.
We're taking your questions. 8:15 this morning, and then Rivs has got she came in with a pretty cool topic that could spin off into our March Madness bracket here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll open it up to your interaction. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, we always appreciate it. Daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. But Rivs has got a good segment idea that we're going to get to at some point this morning.
Yeah, we'll probably get to it in the second hour. Do you want me to tease it now?
Absolutely.
So we, and actually, I want to give credit to Lloyd. Lloyd found this.
Okay, Lizzie, I didn't know that was something.
Yeah, you know, you get on Twitter enough, you'll find something interesting.
So we are asking the question to the room and to you. So we want you to participate in this in the chat. Who is the greatest athlete of all time based on vibes only? So that it doesn't have to be based on athletic ability, right? It can be their attitude, how they dress, like whatever it is that makes them vibey to you.
Right.
Like, who is the best?
So you're thinking like Burrow, cigar,
Yes,
cross
that would be an
legs.
excellent. So Burrow could be a terrible football player, but that picture comes out of him,
Sure.
and everyone's like,
Whoa.
"What a great athlete!"
Yeah, right.
You
If
know?
you never-
BDJ.
He's wearing the hat.
Yeah, he's wearing the hat.
Yeah,
Wearing the
yeah.
hat.
So I mean, what is that for you? So we want you to participate as well. If we get enough between the room and our chat, that might be our March Madness fun bracket.
Yep.
So we'll remind you throughout the show, but keep putting those in the chat, and we'll pull them. And we can see if we can come up with 64.
Great calf show. Nick's calves looked great this morning on the
rocking
live
the
shot.
shorts.
Yeah,
Big
bro.
calf
Rocking
show.
I
the
fell for that
socks.
trick one time. Put my feet down. I'm not falling for that again.
Right. I'll see you up there. It's like they had alligators swimming on the carpet down here. Not going to put her feet down.
Floor's lava.
Yes, that's right. We do have a couple of texts in to some recruiting analysts this morning. Shay Dixon, who is our recruiting insider, also our good friend who sits in with us on Wednesdays, is going to have a live chat over at Go247 this morning because of the big news that popped yesterday for LSU football. And we can start there. We'll get to the matchup of LSU basketball and Mississippi State coming up here in a couple of minutes. Pelicans winners of 4
Wow.
in a row and looking really good doing it.
What's going on?
Offensively, they're starting to bust out. Stan Van Gundy was talking a little bit about their performance last night.
I bet Stan was.
Yes, we'll catch you up on some of the latest for the Pelicans as they are winners of 4 in a row. But the big news yesterday was that Brian Thomas, the local 4-star wide receiver from Walker High School, who his head coach Chad Mahaffey sat here at the undisclosed location just a week ago, talking about where Thomas stood in his recruitment, and he said it then. He really had no idea on where he was going to go. A lot of people thought it was going to be between Texas A&M, LSU, and Alabama. And yesterday, he throws on the hat for the Tigers, and what a haul for Mickey Joseph and the recruiting staff for LSU, specifically at wide receiver here in this 2021 class, as you got Deion Smith, who's the number 1 player in the state of Mississippi, Riz, as LSU it just kind of gets over there, steals him from Lane Kiffin. If you remember, Lane Kiffin during the end of the season was wearing the sweatshirts Mary Flipmas.
No, I know. He was talking about Mississippi State.
And he was talking about Deion Smith in particular, who was the number 1 player in Mississippi, who was committed to LSU the entire time. And Joseph and the staff,
Oh,
Orgeron
poor
and crew,
Lane.
did a great job. And Leach was coming too. I mean, Leach was after.
But
him,
Lane was going all in on the Mary Flipmas.
he was all in.
He's
But
not afraid to put himself out there.
He's
if
really
he embarrasses
not.
himself or not. Doesn't care. I'm just doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like
And
this
look, it's
show.
the
He just
brand,
throws
yeah.
it against the wall, and if it
If it
lands.
sticks.
And we'll talk to Mintz about it coming up at 8 a.m. But Mintz has said over and over again, this has been the best 5-5 season he's ever been alive for.
It's changed his life.
because of what Lane Kiffin has brought to the Grove.
Some new energy, you know?
Absolutely. So Deion Smith is in the class. Chris Hilton Jr., who, along with Brian Thomas, they battle back and forth on who was the state's best wide receiver. It seems like when the rankings came out, Thomas was the guy, but Hilton's the fastest wide receiver in the state. He won the state championship game for Zachary on a game winner as a sophomore that he took 80 yards versus West Monroe, and an unbelievable moment for him. And since then, he's continued to improve. Like a lot of people, you would think that would be the moment that you just remember them by, and that was their sophomore year, their 10th grade year. Hilton had highlight after highlight after highlight over and over again through his junior season, through his senior season. And when you turn on, I don't know if this is accessible, but if you can find any footage of him running track, you see immediately just how special he is on the football field. I mean, he is he's game-breaking fast, Dante Jackson type speed. Jack Besh and Malik Neighbors, a lot of people that you talk to believe that Neighbors could be the steal of the class. He did not play football his senior season because of an LHSAA rule that kept him ineligible because of a transfer rule that was in place for his senior season. But if you turn on the junior film, he's as good as the state has. And he joins Jack Besh, who set all types of records. And then yesterday, Brian Thomas from Walker. I've said the whole time I thought he was going to Texas A&M. This was a huge surprise when I saw the news come across the wire that Mickey Joseph, Ed Orgeron, and the crew had gotten him into Baton Rouge. And look, man, you just think of the new offensive coordinator in Jake Peets. You think of the new passing game coordinator in DJ Mangus, and you think of now the options that they have at wide receiver and what the future looks like at that spot. That was an enormous get for the crew over at LSU football yesterday. What a haul for the wide receiver room, and what a haul for the future of the passing game. I mean, if you're a quarterback, if you're a skill player, you see where LSU and their future is trending. Orgeron said it when he brought in those guys offensively, that they wanted to get back to a more Joe Brady style, Joe Brady looking offense. Well, I mean, think about what Joe Brady's offense featured. It featured big-time playmakers at wide receiver all over the place. And with guys like Thomas now into the boat for the class, this is about as good as it gets from a wide receiver standpoint. I don't think you'll find anywhere nationally that can compete or say that they have anything better than what LSU has coming in 2021. So we're brought to you daily by Go Chevrolet online, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. Remember, you can get in touch with Nick Richard and Lee Carney today if you want to find a brand new Chevrolet, that whatever make model you're looking for, they can make it happen for you. They want to make it easy. They can come to Baton Rouge. They can bring the car here. It's easy to find them online. GEAUX Chevrolet.com. All right, so that was the big news of yesterday. Obviously, was the recruiting for LSU football and Brian Thomas. And like we said, I've got a text in to Shay and see if he can't peel away 10 minutes just to give us his reaction to where that places LSU offensively and this wide receiver class. Rivs, let's get into this greatest athlete.
We're doing it right now.
I mean, just kind of get into a little bit of the discussion of it before we talk to Faneca. So we got a little bit before Alan Faneca jumps in here. We can start to preview the LSU Mississippi State basketball game.
Speaking of basketball games, let's talk about the Jackson State thing here.
Wild.
Okay, so
Not good vibes.
I want to pull up the video.
yeah, but I don't know if we're not gonna be able to show you the video,
Explain it.
but so basically. During Sunday night's game against Southern University, Jackson State's Tristan Jarrett, who is leading his team in scoring at 19.5 per game, got into it with one of his teammates, so the second leading scorer, and then folded it all up and went home. So he basically got really mad on the court, tears his jersey off.
Folded is putting it nicely. He didn't do his laundry at all.
Just sort of takes it off, throws it, and then walks off the court. And then he's just in street clothes, he's a fan. That's just wild to me. This is a college athlete.
It's at Southern University.
These are not 8-year-olds, you know?
The best part about this is the coach's response.
Oh, yeah. So the coach was asked later what he thought of it, and he said, "It's sports. You have that all the time. So we'll go back in the dressing room and address it," he said. "That's a simple problem to fix. So we'll just go back in, and I think winning cures a lot of things. You got a happy locker room, and our guys love playing with each other. It won't be a big problem. We'll fix it in the next 5 or 6 minutes." I was saying months. I was like, whoa,
5 or 6
minute.
months?
The next 5 or 6 minutes, we'll fix it. I mean, what a weird response from a coach.
He must average 25 a game.
Yeah, he did. It's
know
the
what I
leading
mean?
scorer.
Yeah.
Well, we need the cat.
You
can-
must have to have the guy that got in the fight and walked off the floor and threw his jersey on the court on the way out.
What do you need?
Bro, how are we going to excuse that as the coach? His response is great. It's sports. You have this all the time. Really?
Do you?
I've been watching a lot of
Never
sports
seen
for
it.
a long time. I rarely see this happen where you excuse it and bring the player back. But if he's a player, you know what I mean?
You're right.
If
You
he's
make it
averaging
work.
25 a night,
Yeah.
hey, cuz, it was probably on us. Let's
probably on
talk
us.
a little bit before we get
You want to bring the ball
rash
up? What do you want?
decisions.
Yeah.
Before
but
you
it's-
get into the stands.
It's the top scorer versus the second leading
scorer.
scorer.
That's
So
right.
who do you what
Yeah.
are we doing here?
That's true.
Right.
If you want to watch those videos, they're all out there. You can go to Twitter at HBCU Game Day, and it kind of breaks it all down. But that is wild to me. He is definitely going to be getting a visit from a good friend of the show, Deion Sanders.
Yes, he should be. And I'd imagine that Deion, this is at Jackson State.
Jackson
Deion
State.
is the head football coach. We love Deion Sanders on this show. He's going to make a huge impact more on those human beings than he will the football players over there in Jackson. And I think he's got a great case here on the basketball team to get in there and make an example out of somebody he can spin for a positive direction. It's crazy that happened at Southern. Roman Banks, who's the athletics director over at Southern University, is going back and forth. We're going to get him into the undisclosed location and talk about, because Southern's preparing for spring football. They're preparing for a difference in competition and the way that it's set up. So we wanted to talk to Coach Banks, who has always been a good friend of ours, at some point coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. There's a lot to get to today. We're looking forward to our conversation with Alan Faneca. That'll happen here in about 15 minutes. Faneca, as you know, one of the most decorated LSU offensive linemen in the program's history. As back-to-back years, LSU sees an offensive lineman inducted into Canton. I say that not back-to-back. Last year's class was not able to have their ceremony due to COVID, but Kevin Mawai was just recently inducted 2 years ago into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and now another LSU offensive lineman, in Alan Faneca. And we're looking forward to talking to Faneca, who played 13 seasons in the NFL and only missed one game at the guard position.
That's wild.
That's crazy. I mean, that is...
But to him and Joe Thomas.
mean,
Joe
it's-
Thomas
yeah.
never missed a start. It's just an impossible position to do that in.
It is wild to say that type of stat, that type of number out loud when you just really kind of understand the aggressive physical nature of NFL football. And then Ben Mintz will stop by here. We'll get back into recruiting at some point as hopefully we can get some input and some reaction from one of our recruiting insiders. But we'll start to preview LSU Mississippi State basketball, and we'll get set up for Alan Faneca when we return here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented daily by Go Chevrolet. The Jordy Culotta Show is powered every day by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com, located in LaPlace, Louisiana, with the greatest selections of new and used Chevrolet vehicle inventory. Over in LaPlace at Go Chevrolet, they have the latest models in stock. They provide financial assistance to both new and used car customers. Stop in today. It's a convenient stop, whether you're going to New Orleans or coming from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. Stop in and see Lee Carney and Nick Richard at Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. If you have water, mold, or fire damage, you need to get in touch with Advana Clean today. I tell the story all the time. On Christmas Day, I woke up with what I thought was water damage in a room. I gave my friend Bradley Lynch a call at 225-369-5228. And on Christmas Day, 20 minutes later, Bradley was at the house diagnosing the problem, and he was back with his team to clean it up. Find out for yourself online at advanaclean.com.
That's advanaclean.com. ADVANTA clean.com.
Johnson and Spillers Dentistry with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge. Stop in to see them today. They provide the highest quality of dental treatment in a relaxed and professional atmosphere. They also offer Botox and teeth whitening. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales, online at johnsonspillers.com. Lanois Agency, online at LANOIXagency.com, helping you today with Baton Rouge auto insurance, home insurance, flood insurance, or business insurance. Get in touch with Randy, Brian, and David, 749-5640, or you can shop them online at LANOIXagency.com. This is a personal testimony from me. They handle all of my insurance, whether it's my home, auto, flood insurance, business insurance. They're the best, man. They're my insurance agent, but they're my friends first. Online at LANOIXagency.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented daily by Go Chevrolet and by Advana Clean. Remember, over at Advana Clean, if you wake up and you feel water in the carpet on your socks, you smell fire, you smell smoke, or you see mold, you can get in touch with our good friend Bradley Lynch, as he's over at Advana Clean. He's online at ADVANTAclean.com. One of our loyal listeners, Amy Dawes, had one of their lake house over in central Louisiana, and brought Bradley down there to look at some of the water damage. And talked about the process, how easy it was. She had heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, told him about it. We appreciate that, as always. Get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at Advana Clean, ADVANTAclean.com. Local right here in Baton Rouge. He takes out all of the hard work. It'll be a terrible phone call when you have to get in touch with him, because it's water, fire, and mold. But he'll deal with the insurance company. He'll deal with all the red tape, all the headaches. He'll take all that out of the process for you. AdvanaClean.com.
Did you know that next week it is supposed to sleet and freeze over?
Is it Friday though? Is it this week?
I thought it was the beginning of next week, but it might be the end of this next week.
The high is 75 and the low is like 61 today.
Today, yeah. We're all like wearing short sleeves, but by the end of the week, early next week, it's supposed to be like sleeting and freezing over.
See, I hate that.
So we're going to experience all 4 seasons cold, in the next
I really
week.
can't stand being cold. I'm a total prick in the cold weather. I mean, and let me tell you, the undisclosed location, not
You're feeling-
insulated
yeah.
really good.
You're living with the elements.
we're
You
gonna
feel
be in
the
like
extremes
we're
in
gonna
here.
be scarfed. We're gonna be gloved up. I mean, we might look a little Bernie-ish.
But when
You know
it's
what I mean?
hot-
like we're gonna have the mittens.
But when
on.
it's hot, we're hot as
Yes.
well in here. So
Yes,
it's
yeah.
extreme temperatures in the undisclosed location.
The day I'm looking for is a 75 to 80 degree little breeze where we can crack
Today.
the door. Can we open the door? Is it a
Try to
little
get that
humid?
door
I don't want to open the door, but we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like kind of the birds, the ambiance.
Yeah, the,
Waking
the
up.
birds were nice yesterday.
Yes, it was
it was
nice.
very nice.
It was nice.
I'm not looking forward to freezing though. I don't want that.
Just put a text message into a good friend of our show, Coach Will Wade, and looking for a little inside information. How's Darius Days, Coach? And he said, looks good. We will see. Game time decision.
We will see.
Who says he's got the inside info? So we'll see. Darius Day is going to be a game time decision. Sound like practice was good for Days yesterday, which I think is probably a positive to kind of take one over to Starkville here. Either way, it looks like Days is going to be, as Coach says, a game time decision. And then Sharif O'Neal, who he alluded to yesterday when he stopped by, is now dealing with more foot issues. And I hate to see this because I think LSU is at their best. LSU is the best version of themselves when Sharif O'Neal is on the floor.
Yeah.
I just think he has a lot of energy. He crashes the glass, which they do not do at all. And he stays active. And I think good things happen to players who stay active in basketball on the basketball floor. Guys that give you effort, give you energy.
Find work.
Get to the rim. You know, they're always looking to make the play. He's a good passer. He's underrated on a lot of the skills and fundamentals of basketball. You can see that he has it in him, and you can see that they continually need to be developed so he can. I think 3 years from now, if he stays, he's a pro. I mean, I think you can do something with that physique, that skill level, and again,
The pedigree.
the energy level. Sure, I mean the pedigree speaks for itself. I mean his dad is the most dominant player maybe in NBA and basketball history. But he's not that. I think people that have never seen him play and you hear the name Sharif O'Neal, you expect him to be this big, brute,
Hulking.
power, back you down, dunk on you type player where he's more of a finesse type guy, but he's got that mentality in him where he's not scared to get dirty. You know what I mean? He'll go down there in the paint and move around and play above the rim and try to rebound because, quite frankly, LSU doesn't have that. I thought yesterday, because he said that Sharif was going to be questionable after he alluded to that he's changing the lineup tonight. And I didn't waste a question on asking him because I knew he wouldn't give it to us publicly.
The lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lineup
What do you think? I
change.
mean, like, what do you think that
I thought it was
is?
going to be Sharif, and then he alluded to it later in
Yeah.
the conversation that Sharif could be out.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh Gray. But they've not played this guy at all. But when you talk about just kind of somebody that can protect the rim, rebound the ball, I mean, he's 7 feet.
But
You know what I
didn't he say something like the change in lineup is going to provide a spark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he
then
said
what
spark.
does that mean? Like that could mean
That to me
Couple
is
different
either
things.
Jalen Cook or Eric Gaines.
I was going to say Gaines.
When you talk about spark, I mean, those guys are flashy. They're, they defend. They can create turnovers.
They pop on the court.
Yeah,
You can tell
right.
the energy
they're
level
very
they
good
bring.
athletes. They're
Yeah.
big athletes. So possibly a Gaines starting position for him. He's the one that we reacted to that dunk that we were
yeah.
streaming. I mean, he's he's an athletic highlight type player. And like he said yesterday, can give you kind of a boost, give you a spark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the first name that came to mind outside of Sharif. I just think Sharif needs to play more. I wish he would play more, but obviously he's dealing with physical limitations that.
someone said tape the turf toe and get in there. Do you know how bad toe stuff is? Like foot injuries?
That's
like
what Patrick Mahomes was
yes,
Yeah.
like just imagine you like stubbing your toe or like if you break a toe, like that is awful.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Even an ingrown toenail.
but you don't realize how painful like foot stuff is until it happens to you.
Yeah.
You just take for granted that like you need your feet to do every single thing.
That happened to me when I was in Lake Charles after Laura cleaning some stuff up. I stepped on a roof nail.
Oh,
And dude, for like literally, it was like a week, like no mobility at all.
so no, I don't think it's like you tape it up and you get out there.
We appreciate you watching on YouTube. Make sure you like and share the stream this morning, and we appreciate your interaction. If you have a question for Money Mintz, who'll be here at 8 a.m., or Alan Faneca, who will be here in a couple of minutes, You can jump inside of the Jordy Culotta Show chat app.
The old Culotta Show.
And ask us a question, or if you want to ask the Culotta Show a question.
We've been saying it wrong for all these years.
That's right. Joke's on you, Mafia. If you have a question for us, anybody, we got the full staff here this morning. So if you have a question for anybody on staff, get inside of the app and just drop the hashtag Jordy Culotta Show. As our podcasts daily are brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, check out the podcast wherever you subscribe or get your podcast. You can get it, right, Riz? I mean, it's everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere. Sorry, I was talking to Katie.
Yes.
It is everywhere you can find it, brought to you by RMB Builders. If you listen on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Pandora, Podbean,
YouTube,
something cast, whatever all the cast things are, it's there. It's everywhere. So no excuse not to listen if you can't watch live.
Anybody know anything about Mississippi State basketball in this room? Not enough to speak on?
Not enough to speak about it.
playing tonight.
They're playing. I know. I feel awful. All my Mississippi State friends are like, "Oh, are you an LSU fan now?" You know, like,
Yes, she is. I've been telling her for 3 years.
No, it's just it's like when I can only consume
Transforming another one.
I can only
You're
consume
next.
so many things, and like there's only room for so many player names in my brain, you know.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that I happen to know, like the LSU ones.
Yes.
Right.
So I mean, I still would like Mississippi State to win, but I'm not super hopeful. You know?
Yeah, well, it sounds like a matchup of super hopeful basketball teams tonight. As
Let's see what happens.
LSU at 6-4 and Mississippi State at 5-6 will tip it off.
We
at
almost
the
beat
hump.
Alabama. I know that.
All right.
We have not.
They will. That's right.
We can't say that.
They will tip it off from the hump from Humphrey Coliseum at 8:00. Oof. 8:00. No chance.
There'll
we see
be
the
5
second
people
half.
there.
Yeah, no chance we see the second half.
So we
here
want
on
first
the,
half stream? No stream? What we
No
doing?
stream, bro.
No stream.
We're streamless here on on companion shows on the Jordy Culotta Show. When we come back, we will talk to Alan Faneca, the Pro Football Hall of Famer who got the knock in mid-January. He had to keep it secret, which I'd imagine was very, very tough to do.
I think your attitude would just be better. You
Yes,
know,
for
it's
sure.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Faneca's glowing today.
You look great, man.
Yeah.
You look great. But we'll ask him about the knock, his illustrious 13-year career, his days at LSU, and some of the people that have been such a big influence on now what is a Hall of Fame football career. Alan Faneca next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. When you're involved in a motor vehicle accident, you shouldn't have to settle for the same old medical treatment. You got a choice, and the choice is simple. Choose Metropolitan Health Group. For all your personal injury needs, real doctors and real solutions to help you get back on the road to recovery. Metropolitan Health Group. The next time you're in the market for a custom home, remember Rhett Bourgeois and RMB Builders. They're online at rmb-builders.com. If you want testimonies or pictures of the fantastic work, check them out online or on social media. Their handle is at RMB Builders LLC. They're licensed for both commercial and residential construction, offering new construction and remodeling to Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas. Remember RMB Builders online at rmb-builders.com.
Hey, this is Katie with the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate everyone's support. If you want in, email me at katie@jordyculotta.com.
Go Chevrolet. Lee Carney and Nick Richard opened up their new dealership on Airline Highway in LaPlace, Louisiana, and they bring you the Jordy Culotta Show every single day. Stop in and see Lee and Nick today in LaPlace, Louisiana when you're looking for a brand new Chevrolet or used car inventory. You can shop it all online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet, Airline Highway in LaPlace. Make sure and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We're there. Daily brought to you by RMB Builders. Shout out to Rhett Bourgeois and the crew. rmb-builders.com. Get to the Jordy Culotta Show podcast. Daily brought to you by RMB Builders. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented daily by Go Chevrolet. Super Bowl weekend, what a special time for former players, fans of the game, as they get an inside look at next season's Hall of Fame class. It's a special one for people here in Louisiana that follow LSU football. Another LSU offensive lineman going in, as we talked about. Kevin Mawai got the honor a couple of years back, and Alan Faneca got the knock this season after 6 years of being a candidate, and got the knock this season, and he is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and he joins us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Big fella, congratulations. Thank you for the time this morning.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. What I know that 6 years a candidate, so kind of the bliss of being at least a nominee had settled in. What was it like to finally get that knock and be welcomed into a very exclusive club?
Man, it was exciting. It was a relief. It was awesome. It was everything. They got me and surprised me really good. And, it's something you never forget for sure.
So you had to keep this thing secret? I mean, like, that had to be pretty hard, right? Like a couple of weeks?
Man, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We found out the Saturday of championship weekend, and we had to sit on it for 2 weeks and not tell anybody. We had a couple friends that knew that lived right by us, and that was it. And we started making phone calls the night before to tell a couple people, and that was it. So it was tough holding on to it, not screaming at the world and telling everybody. So it was tough.
It had to be a cool process in being at your house, right? Because for the last 6 years, you've been in a hotel room and just kind of waiting on this knock that ultimately did not come. And this year, you're at your house because of the COVID restrictions, and you get the knock in front of your family. I had to imagine that had to be really cool for that moment to be captured in your home.
It was great. I had family that lives nearby that was here. They tricked me with the ruse that we were going to go out to brunch, so everybody kind of met at the house. And even after the knock, and you can see it in the video. I'm kind of in a daze a little bit, and I'm just agreeing. David Baker's talking to me about family that drove in, and I say yeah, and I have no idea until I turn around. I think I turned around. I didn't even see him on the first take. With the second take, my wife had snuck in about 8 family members that drove in all night long from South Carolina to be there and surprise me. So it was definitely special to share that moment with more of my family than I would have in the hotel room.
How cool, man. Congratulations again. What a moment for you and your family. A great career, LSU to the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Jets to the Cardinals. When you're training back in the day, do you ever train to say, I want to be a Hall of Famer? I mean, do you ever think of that when you're in the grind of it?
No, not in the grind, but definitely, man, I was definitely, I set goals and reached out for them, just reach for farther than you can go, right? Mm-hmm. And try and get it. And I had actually forgotten about it till Julie, my wife, mentioned it the other day. So I kept a notebook every year of all my notes of every games and everything I thought about or did in meetings. And I kept it. I have 13 of those notebooks. I kept every one of them. Wow. And I would write goals on the front page, inside the front cover, just things I might have wanted to work on or whatnot. And I had forgotten that I used to write make the Hall of Fame on the inside of that cover, and I had completely forgotten about it. And so I did set those goals to try and be one of the best and see if I could do it.
No wonder I didn't make the league.
That's a cool story, man. That's cool just to kind of write it down and go accomplish it. What was the coolest part about being a football player?
Man, you know what? Playing in a stadium of 80,000 people, right? Who gets to go to work and have 80,000 people either cheering for you or booing the heck out of you, man? That's just an amazing experience to go through. You start out in high school ball and you're playing in front of your hometown, and you go to college and it gets really, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I think that's one of the most amazing things. And it's just when I look back on it, that's just awesome. And you can't relive that. People always ask me, do you miss it? there's certain aspects of it. Definitely not the lifting weights and running and training part of it. But you never get to do your job, in front of 80,000 people again. But it's just amazing.
Alan Faneca, Pro Football Hall of Famer, joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show on this Wednesday morning. You only missed one game in 13 seasons. I've told the crew I've watched one NFL game from field level, and I mean it sounds like a car wreck every 30 seconds. I mean, it sounds like just these enormous collisions over and over again. The durability. What went into that? What was I got to imagine that's a very prideful stat for somebody to tell you that you only missed one game in 13 seasons playing on the line of scrimmage in the NFL.
It is. And the one game I missed was one they held me out because it was the last game of the year and it didn't matter for playoffs. And I was fighting them to the end to let me in. But it's first thing, man. You just definitely have to be a little bit lucky, man. You can do all the right things and still get caught. You got to train right. You got to take care of your body. And you physically have to think about it while you're on the field. You have to do the right things. A simple saying that, when we're in offensive line room and we're watching film, if all of a sudden you see a guy just like standing around the pile, but you never stand around the pile as an offensive lineman, right? You just keep moving, even if it's just jogging another 4 more yards to get away, because all of a sudden that's how you're going to lose a knee. You're going to get caught up in the pile. It's going to get rolled up on you. But definitely taking care of your body and a lot of luck and playing through pain.
I still see you lead blocking for Herb Tyler, getting into the end zone at LSU. I think the moment that everybody will remember from a national level is you pulling in the Super Bowl and leading Willie Parker on what still is today the longest touchdown run in Super Bowl history. Is there a moment that stands out in the career? Is there a certain time period that you say that was my peak? That was when that was the best of the best?
Man. No, so much sticks out. Definitely the Super Bowl sticks out. It's just an easy go-to, right? I mean, that's the pinnacle of everything is the Super Bowl. I've got a picture of me, and I think it was in the front page of the Baton Rouge papers where I've tracked it down and found it. It's just me, and I'm screaming. I'm trying to find my people in the stands, and I'm just screaming excited, and I've got the trophy above my head. And it's the guy that must have been on the ground or on a knee or something shooting up, and I got nothing but confetti falling around me from the sky. And the hair on the back of my neck still sticks up to this day when I walk by that picture.
Yeah, it's a goosebump story right now. Jason Young writes into the app, Thibodaux, Louisiana loves Alan Faneca. What are your memories about Louisiana and your days at LSU?
Oh, man, I love Louisiana. I love Thibodaux, man. We lived in Thibodaux for several years, and Louisiana is home, man. Anytime we get back home, it's you get off the airport and get out the plane. I mean, and it's just instantly. It's just like walking in the front door of my house. It just feels awesome, and it's always got a special place in our family's hearts. We love it.
What goes into I guess now you get your bust made. That's got to be a pretty cool process. Have you thought about? I'm sure you have on who will present you? I mean, what goes into kind of getting prepared for the Hall of Fame?
So we did get measured. We did the initial measurements for the bus this weekend in Tampa, and I had no idea, but the guys we get to pick kind of what we look like in the bus. So I had no idea that that was what we were doing. So Julie instantly started flipping through and telling them, and I've lost a lot of weight since I played. So she was telling them, she's like, he's lost 100 pounds, right? and the guy kind of like, yeah, and the guy goes, we could fatten them up a little bit. And once we found out that we could pick how we looked, Julie started scrolling through the phone at pictures, and she showed me one, and the guy kind of did a double take on it, and he's like, "Wait, that's you?" And he said, "Well, we're not really going to be using many of these measurements then." Yeah. So, it's a very cool process, very neat. We've been taking lots of pictures and documenting as much as we can and sharing it on social media and with the fans and friends. As far as a presenter of mine, I have some thoughts, and there's a lot of people that I'm deciding. Not a lot of people I'm deciding from, but it's a tough decision, and I've got a couple people in mind.
it seemed as if you were as committed to your post-football life of running and fitness as you were to the game. How has that been, and what's life after football like now for you?
When I was playing, I always said, I'm just going to try and lose the weight when I'm done playing. I've always been the big kid. I've never been this size of my life. And I just said, I'm going to give it a go. And I did. When I was retired, I just went right after it. Like it was like I was training for another season. And I tell people today, I was like, I probably couldn't pull it off today, or at least not near as fast as I did when I first initially lost it. So, yeah, I do a lot of running. I do a lot of the Peloton bike and just try and stay active. The day I lost 30 pounds, I was playing on the floor with my oldest daughter, who was then about 6 or 7, I think, at the time. And I got up off the floor and I just kind of stood up. And I didn't push off the ground, and I didn't give the old man, heavy guy, the grunt to get up off the ground. Right. And it was the day I lost 30 pounds, and I said, I like that. We got something good going here. So it's been good. It's been good for me. It's been good for the joints, and definitely be good going forward for sure.
That's awesome. So you're a Hall of Famer now. You had a 13-year career. Who was the baddest dude you went up against?
There's so many, but the guy that made you work the hardest would have to be Warren Sapp. He played the position so differently than anybody else. He played it a lot like a defensive end, but you're in the middle, man. You're right in front of the quarterback. He was so quick, so heavy. You had to change how you played. So much about offensive line play is repetition and doing it perfect and kind of being a little bit like a machine and day in and day out doing the same thing. And when you played Warren, you had to change that. And if you didn't change who you were day to day, week to week, you were going to lose. You were going to fail. So, getting ready to play Warren, you had to start on Wednesday at that first practice of the week. I would pull my practice squad a guy aside and I said, look, I need this, I need that. I need you to do it. I need you to go hard. You're going to have to work hard this week because I got to work to prepare to play against them.
Wow, that's a great. So what a compliment to Warren Sapp to hear a Hall of Famer giving that type of respect. Last one, I'll get you out of here. Thank you so much for your time on this Wednesday morning. I know everybody's getting at you and wants to get some conversation with you. I love Mike Tomlin. I think that Mike Tomlin is one of the most underrated and undervalued coaches in professional sports just because of what he does consistently year in, year out. I've heard him speak of you, and you can hear the respect just ooze out of him that he has for you. What was it like playing for him?
Great guy, great coach, great motivator. And I've been back since plenty of times, but I've also been back and done some summer coaching with the Steelers 2 years in a row. And he really is a big part of keeping the Steeler tradition. Steelers is a family-run, deep in tradition, as I think everybody knows. But he's been a really big part of keeping that going and a driving force. More so than I realized that first year when I was with him. But going back and seeing it, he's just been kind of the driving force of what keeps Steelers the Steelers.
Is coaching a possibility for you?
I've looked in it. I've dabbled in it. I'm coaching some high school football right now, but it just hasn't been the right time to do anything beyond that.
Congratulations on the accomplishment of being named to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very deserved honor. Thank you for the time this morning.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. There is Alan Faneca checking in from Virginia this morning is where he makes his home now, but a Louisiana native and now a Pro Football Hall of Famer. That was cool conversation, good perspective from Faneca. Warren Sapp must have been a dog. Because, everybody you talked to that played around that time, if you ask somebody that type of question, like who was the baddest, who was the best, it's
First
always
name out the
Sapp and
mouth.
everybody else.
Yeah.
That generation speaks of Sapp like he was. He was. If you just turn on the film and watch him play, it was obvious. But Faneca has so much respect from like coaches, offensive line coaches, even guys like T-Bob who played the position that were young, that would talk about Faneca that was a lot older than him, but really realized just how good of a player he was. That was good conversation. Thank you to Alan Faneca for stopping by here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, we mentioned it. We're trying to get to a bracket of 64, or not a bracket of 64, just a March Madness bracket that we're going to offer up here.
If we could get to 64, that'd be
cool.
wonderful.
There
Yeah.
might be some upsets there.
Yes. But the Jordy Culotta Show will begin to workshop possibly a bracket participant next here when we come out to close out hour number 1. The Jordy Culotta Show is powered every day by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com, located in LaPlace, Louisiana, with the greatest selections of new and used Chevrolet vehicle inventory. Over in LaPlace at Go Chevrolet, they have the latest models in stock. They provide financial assistance to both new and used car customers. Stop in today. It's a convenient stop, whether you're going to New Orleans or coming from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. Stop in and see Lee Carney and Nick Richard at Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. If you have water, mold, or fire damage, you need to get in touch with Advana Clean today. I tell the story all the time. On Christmas Day, I woke up with what I thought was water damage in a room. I gave my friend Bradley Lynch a call at 225-369-5228. And on Christmas Day, 20 minutes later, Bradley was at the house diagnosing the problem, and he was back with his team to clean it up. Find out for yourself online at advanaclean.com.
That's at vanaclean.com. ADVANTA clean.com.
Johnson and Spiller's Dentistry with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge. Stop in to see them today. They provide the highest quality of dental treatment in a relaxed and professional atmosphere. They also offer Botox and teeth whitening. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales, online at johnsonspillers.com. Lanois Agency, online at LANOIXagency.com, helping you today with Baton Rouge auto insurance, home insurance, flood insurance, or business insurance. Get in touch with Randy, Brian, and David, 749-5640, or you can shop them online at LANOIXagency.com. This is a personal testimony from me. They handle all of my insurance, whether it's my home, auto, flood insurance, business insurance. They're the best, man. They're my insurance agent, but they're my friends first. Online at LANOIXagency.com.
Welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet.
Check out our merch store, y'all. Jordy.itemorder.com. Get the flyest merch in the game. We got hoodies. We got stuff for the kids. We got everything you could want. Jordy.itemorder.com.
Lily Courtney inside of the chat
Who's
app
that?
says the
Hey.
sticker on the back of the hoodie looks like a good move for Lizzie.
Yeah, you know, just so you pimp it when you can. This could be this is your area right here. Anybody can buy
Anybody
this.
can buy it.
It's for you.
Speaking of pimping it out, hit that thumbs up
Yes.
so that YouTube will pimp out our video.
We don't, mind, we don't mind if you don't like it. You can
I mean,
thumbs
yeah, no,
down.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
just
you can give
interaction.
us a thumbs down if you want.
Jesse McCormick inside of the app says Sharif O'Neal battled back from an open heart surgery to move an artery in his heart and had to learn how to walk again. He is anything but
For
soft.
sure.
Somebody must have called him soft.
Yeah,
inside
somebody
the app.
did. I wasn't even going to acknowledge
Yeah.
it.
Attaboy, Jesse.
Yes, because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is
That's
everything
silly.
he just said times 2. Because Sharif O'Neal, the longer he plays, you can see his feet getting underneath him. And I hope he gets his ankle right, because I think he's one of LSU's top 5 players, and they are at their best when he's on the floor, because he just gives you energy and gives you a threat to rebound.
Our only bench points against Tech.
I feel you over there.
Man, I was just telling them right before we came back, I am so
Little Wednesday
tired
lull?
today. Yeah. I
Ooh,
tweeted
just got
out.
the any time from Alan Faneca.
Ooh, Jordy's going to be
yes.
texting him at 4 a.m. I don't know. I even tweeted out that it's Thursday today. If you saw the tweet, it's
Sheesh,
not
Rich.
Thursday, obviously. But Wednesdays are my early day. So I get up at 4 so I can
Okay.
teach.
Okay.
Wednesdays and Fridays are my early days. So.
And you're doing some blogging too?
Oh, well, just for them. Thank you. Little plug. Yeah, I don't go read it. I wrote it while I was also tired. Don't go read it.
Don't go read it.
No, I teach fitness classes at Evolve in Willow Grove, and they also have a blog. So I wrote a blog post about mindfulness today. So if you're feeling any like road rage, if your kids are driving you crazy, just go check it out. I'll give you a couple tips.
All right, so we're gonna do something for March Madness here. Obviously, that is great way to reach out for our audience. Should we promote Thursday afternoon at Mansur's? Okay, yeah, all right. So we're gonna be at Mansur's Thursday afternoon. Building.
I don't know
network.
anything about this either, so go ahead.
We're gonna do a little happy hour.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yes. Well, I mean, just kind of come together.
Yeah, I know.
20 past 24
I'm like,
hours.
tell us the details, Jordy.
Little faces, little handshakes, little people coming out. You know what I mean?
Kissing
Little
some
face to
babies,
face,
shaking some hands,
absolutely.
yeah.
Did you tell them the time?
3 o'clock. 3:30.
3:30.
3:30. Mansur's on the Boulevard, over on Corporate Boulevard. We will be there. The team will be kind of coming in. I'll be there for a while. We'll have some of our great show sponsors that'll be coming out and having a couple of drinks and just kind of celebrating the week. If you want to stop in, 3:30 to about 5-ish.
People get off at 5, but whatever.
Right. Good
We'll
to
be
see you. We're
gone.
just heading out. No. I think we'll stay. We'll stay.
I'll take that drink now.
That's right. But we will do some type of March Madness interaction, and we're looking forward to that. And Rivs had a great idea this morning, or Lloyd and Rivers kind of workshopped the topic.
Gotta give Lloyd that shout out.
Yeah, that's right.
I do something.
All right, so go ahead.
You said doo-doo.
So tell it is. Tell us what the segment ideas.
So I saw this on Twitter. I should probably shout out where I saw it from.
Yeah, it was a girl, but I think she accidentally did this. It's like one of those things where she tweeted it out just as like a general question, and it just blew up on Twitter.
Right. So people started, writing in and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily the best athlete of all time, but it's the best vibe.
The greatest athlete of all time. Vibes only. So
Vibes
it does
only.
not have to have anything to do with
Vibes
athletic
only.
ability.
Vibes
But
only.
The vibes.
So like Clyde Frazier walking into the Madison Square Garden with a 70s pimp suit on.
Right, and the
Is
cane.
good vibes.
The Magic Johnson with the
Magic
fur
Johnson
jacket.
was the first name I thought of.
Yeah.
Magic was your first name?
Just the first name that came to. I don't want to present Magic as one of my two that we're going to talk about and discuss here, but the first name that came to my mind was Magic's pearly white smile, just his good vibes on the court. I mean, he always played with a good attitude. He always played in a good mood. He always played with
he puts you in a
people
good
around
mood watching
Yes.
him
Yeah.
play. He was
Yes.
fun to watch play.
Yes.
That leads perfectly into mine.
Okay.
I'm number one. I got two.
So everybody's got two, right?
I
Everybody's
don't
got
know.
two?
Does everybody?
Okay.
I mean,
I've got
even
like
if you have more
5.
than two, that's fine too. Or if you have one, it's fine. But and he's probably one of my all-time favorite athletes. So that's he's athletic. But Larry Bird.
Okay.
And I'm not picking him for his athletic ability, of which it was
Sure.
a lot.
Sure.
I just loved watching him and how his swagger, how he knew what was up and he was going to tell you. One of my favorite stories is whenever he competed in the 3-point competition in 1988. Mike was in the back watching. It's funny, there's actually a video out there of Michael Jordan watching Larry Bird compete and being like, whoa.
Yeah.
But he walks in and he looks at everyone in the locker room and he's like, so who's coming in second? And then you know what? He won it for 3rd year in a row. But he wasn't afraid to talk trash to other people. There's another story where he played and he looks at the bench. I don't even remember who they're playing, maybe the Mavericks. And he's like, look, let me tell you what's about to go down. And he's talking to the bench. He's like, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to stand right here. I'm not going to move. They're going to pass me the ball. And the next sound you're going to hear is the ball hitting the bottom of the net. And then you know what he did? He went right down there and he did it. So it was
Rivs, have you ever seen the highlights of him at UNO Lakefront Arena playing the Atlanta Hawks?
I don't know.
The Atlanta Hawks bench. Look up the highlights when you have time. Atlanta used to play 7 or 8 games in New Orleans a year. And they came down, and this is Bird, maybe 84, 85-ish. I know people inside of the app will know it because whenever I talk about this, but the Atlanta Hawks bench in the 3rd and 4th quarter when Bird is in one of these Bird zones where he's just
He's
throwing
just in it.
It's like the Steph Curry where he throws the ball up and he just starts running down the
He
court.
doesn't even watch it. He knows it's going in.
Flashing.
Yeah,
I know that
The
feeling.
Atlanta Hawks bench. It's like Dominique Williams. Wilkins. All the big dude that played with the Chicago Bulls with Jordan Livingston. They're all like, ah!
It's all good.
I love watching it.
They're taking towels. And they're like fanning him. When he comes down the court, Bird's like struggling, like looking back at him and talking shit. I mean, it is.
And like,
And he was, and you ask anybody in that generation, he was the best shit talker.
but
in the
you know
game.
what? If you're gonna, not only did he do it, he like backed it up. It wasn't like he
Yes.
was just out there talking a bunch of trash. And so Reggie Miller, who's one of my other favorite players,
Mm-hmm.
but specifically because he trash talks, you know, like I like watching him do that. There's like an interaction between him and Larry Bird one time. I think it was like when Reggie Miller had just sort of entered the league and he was like getting in Bird's face
Mm-hmm.
and like I think he was going to shoot a free throw and basically Larry Bird was like, look, rookie, like I'm the effing best that's out here. Like, don't talk to me. And then he like shot the free throw, and I don't know, maybe it was a second. And he just like turned around and ran away. Like didn't watch it. You know, like get out of my face, man. You
I
know.
think
And then he backed it up.
The story goes for Jordan, and I don't mean to get off, but Michael
No,
Jordan
yeah.
when Dikembe Mutombo came into the league and he was with Denver, and Mutombo's like talking to Jordan at the line, and that's when that clip of Jordan when he shoots it with his eyes closed. And he tells Mutombo,
This one's for you.
this is for you. And he puts it. So my athlete, the
man, I
first
love
one I
that.
want to go with, the first one I want to nominate is Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay.
I thought
yeah, I
Ken
like that.
Griffey
I like that.
Jr. played with he made baseball cool again for us in our generation.
All he had to do was turn the hat around.
Where is the Ken Griffey Jr. today? I mean, is it Mookie Betts? Maybe. But, I mean, does Mookie Betts have that swag where he's got that swing?
I think it's
he's got
Fernando
that
Tatis.
athleticism? Maybe. But Ken Griffey Jr. had just this. He had the swing, he had the swag, he had the athleticism. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. maybe in today's world is a defensive back. You know, I don't know if he plays baseball, but he played baseball, and I mean, the kid.
Polarizing.
He was awesome. I mean, the amount of ground he could cover, the bombs he would hit, the timely hits, everything about him as a kid. Ken Griffey Jr. for me is the first one I'd like to nominate on a list that really could go.
Right.
We could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we could do 64.
We could probably do 64.
I think. I mean, you start getting like the Bo Jacksons,
have a
the
lot of-
Deion Sanders. I mean,
We're
like,
gonna
all
continue
That
these
this
was my first
conversation.
ballot.
Is Deion?
Deion.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and we'll continue this conversation throughout the show today, but we've also got a ton of listener interaction. So I've been saving a lot of the answers and we'll go through those now later in the show. I'll read through what our listeners have done too. But no, I mean, like, it's funny to think about. I mean, it's funny to think about players not for. I mean, yes, a lot of these athletes are pro athletes, so obviously they're athletes. But to think about it just in terms of like how they dress, how they carry themselves, like how they make you feel.
I have one that's on the list that may be controversial. Allen Iverson.
That's why I had to.
Come on.
Yeah,
I
come
love
on.
him,
He
man.
changed the way.
He did.
He's going.
He made David Stern put in a dress
It's
code.
code. Yeah,
You
y'all
know
don't
what
want
I mean?
leggings anymore, and now everybody's wearing them.
That's exactly right. And by the way he played the game, man. I mean, he couldn't wait to play Michael Jordan his rookie year.
They crossed him
what I
up.
mean? Yeah, crossed him over. I mean, I still to this day a top 3 sports highlight of all time for me. Like, take the LSU and the local stuff out of it. An all-time highlight for me is Allen Iverson in the NBA Finals in Game 1, when they beat the Lakers. Shaq and Kobe beat them in that game.
He beat the Lakers.
He beat them. And he steps back and hits that 3 over Tyronn
Tyronn
Lue.
Lue.
Oh, my
and
God.
looks
Steps
down
over
at
him.
him and steps over him.
Oh.
And you can even
That's
see
one of my
like
favorite
Shaq
photos.
and Kobe like kind of like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like,
He actually came back and apologized for that later. He said which
pulled a
kinda
Tom
hate.
Brady?
Yeah, he pulled a Tom Brady. But he actually said he was like, I wasn't even
Don't tell
thinking
me
about.
that.
I know. He's like, I wasn't even thinking about him being on the floor. He's like, that was disrespectful. Like he even recognized.
who cares? It's a great
stomped over
highlight.
him,
It is
too.
a great, I mean, he just splashed it.
Yeah.
I mean, the shot, how big it was, the time that it came. I mean, he just steps back in front of the Laker bench and hits it right in. I mean, over him, steps. I mean, like I have chill. I've got. I mean, look at the goosebumps on my arm right now. I mean,
Camera
it's-
2, can we get a shot of
Yes.
that?
I have a funny one I'll say for later, but I talked about Reggie Miller earlier. I'd add Reggie Miller to the list just for me. Like I love him. That 30 for 30 is one of my very favorite 30 for 30s. Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks.
Yep.
If you haven't watched it, it's so entertaining just to watch him trash talk everyone. And there's one of my favorite lines. John Starks, like they're just talking about a game and like just Reggie just shooting and making and like he like makes this shot and John Starks like is real quiet. He's like being interviewed. He's real quiet and he just looks at the camera. He's like, man, did this dude had just did this? And he's like, presence of mind. And then it went to this like cutoff of like 10 different people being like, the presence of mind. It was just the presence of mind. The presence of mind. And that was what Reggie Miller was. Like he could like read the room and he could read the court. And I don't know, it's incredible to watch him. Like gives me chill bumps. So.
He's great post basketball too. I love him as a commentator.
Apparently someone said he's gotten really into cycling.
Really?
I love that.
So let's see. Are we reading off any of the? That are coming in?
I'll give a couple here.
'Cause I think Joe Namath is a great one.
Oh yeah.
Gary
Let's see,
Payton, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali.
So that have been entered by listeners. We've got Shaq, Tim Tebow. Okay. I mean, he is a vibe. Maybe he's your
Not
vibe.
a vibe for here, but a vibe for someone.
For someone, he's a vibe. The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jordan. I think we can all agree he's a vibe.
I mean, he's a 1 seed.
Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
What about? You want to do listeners? I'm gonna drop in Manny Ramirez. That's a vibe.
Okay.
Manny being Manny.
I like it. Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. For
Dennis
sure.
Rodman, like, is the definition of a vibe.
Yeah, right.
Mike Trout. Christian.
Nobody knows Mike Trout.
Yeah, I don't know if I can tell you anything about Mike
Trout.
Trout.
Yeah.
Trout.
That's a 64 seed.
Christian McCaffrey.
Play-in game.
Yeah. That nobody will watch.
Alvin Kamara.
Oh,
Yeah, he's for sure a vibe.
AK-41 is
I
definitely.
love his
a
New
vibe.
Orleans vibe.
Yes,
Like he just has a whole.
absolutely.
Like he rides his bike. He like hangs out with
when
the
he's
people.
got the gold tent visor, the diamond grill, the
turf
white on
tape.
white,
the necklace too.
the Adidas with the 41 logo. I mean, he's as swaggy as they come on a Sunday. I mean, for a league that restricts you to what you can really look like, I think
figured it
Alvin
out.
Kamara has figured it out. Where I mean, like him, Odell Beckham,
Right.
Beckham pushes it. But yeah, I put OBJ on that list.
Yeah.
for
I think
sure.
he belongs on the
You
list.
know who I'm surprised no one said yet? Your boy Bill Walton.
Maybe so.
yeah.
Maybe so.
Okay,
He's a vibe.
yeah,
He's a vibe.
I'm into
Definitely
that.
a vibe.
He is a vibe.
He's a vibe in this room
He
for
is.
sure.
His vibe is like definitely not
Yes.
even athletic stuff. Like you just watch him talk about
Right.
anything.
Joe Burrow, definitely a 1 seed.
Yeah.
one
Yes.
seed.
Who else did?
Andre Agassi?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that hair was fake?
Yes.
Yeah.
His biography.
I did
Yeah,
not know
unbelievable.
that. He actually kind of had hair like you.
Yeah,
His
I don't-
fake hair.
I remember you talking about that book
Little crack.
a few months back.
Ed Reed,
Ed Reed's a
Yeah.
vibe.
Ricky Jackson.
You can put Ray Lewis with Ed Reed too.
Yeah,
So those are a couple that people. Bo Jackson.
for sure.
Oh yeah, I love Bo.
got
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I got a sneaky 1 seed, but once I say it's not gonna be sneaky, Sean Taylor was a vibe on the
Yes.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Reggie Bush?
At USC.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a vibe for me.
Reggie Bush at USC is a vibe.
Yeah.
an athlete. He can play sports, but
Yeah.
like he just was kind of boring for me.
My second, Rod Smart. He hate me.
Oh, nice.
okay.
Oh yeah. My second would be Kirdesh Afi Barnrat. Anybody know who that is?
No.
He is a golfer, so he spent a couple years like top 50 players. He came in like top 15 at the Masters one year. He's kind of like a bigger guy.
Kinda.
But he's always vaping. So he vapes, and there's always this big cloud on the golf course around
Oh,
him.
I love that guy.
But look,
That's who
somebody
that is?
Somebody
I
asked
love that
him-
guy.
Somebody asked him like why he likes to play golf, like what it is. He said so he can make money to collect Yeezys, watches, and Ferraris.
Wow, you do love that guy.
I love that guy.
That's a vibe. That
But
is
he's
a
just
vibe.
like he looks just lazy, kind of sloppy a little, but he's like playing golf, and golf is such a put together sport,
Yeah.
where there's so many like unwritten rules, and you have to look a certain way and act a certain way, and he is not doing any of those things.
Lloyd, do you have an Ed Reed story?
Oh, who said that? Oh, I was gonna say
One of your boys, Big Steel Henry, who was in here on
Oh,
Super
Steel,
Bowl Sunday,
dude,
said
Steel
hit him with
has
the
a-
Ed Reed story.
I did.
Is
Oh.
it good for air?
Yeah, let me
Are you
workshop
sure?
it a little bit.
Because I'd imagine that Ed Reed in South Louisiana,
Louisiana
you can find some trouble real
Very
quick.
comfortable.
Yeah,
let's say that.
right.
John Daly,
Let's
Yeah,
go
definitely
to
is a
let's go to the phones here. Let's call Money Mints.
you probably had some.
Yeah, Money Mints would probably be good for this conversation. Lane Kiffin,
Ooh,
Yeah, he's a vibe.
Tyrann
for sure.
Matthew,
without a
the
doubt.
Badger.
morning.
Mincy, how are you? We're live, bro.
Oh, doing good, man. Waking up in Hell's Kitchen,
Hell
getting
yeah.
getting my day going. Trying to not freeze my butt off up here in New York, man.
We sent you a Jordy Culotta Show hoodie that should keep you
Oh.
warm for the winters in New York. How miserable is it?
It's been bad this last
Oh.
few days. This is that Super Bowl hangover week, man.
Yeah.
This is kind of the. I knew when I came back, like January and February, it'll be a little cold and bitter, but it's been good. But man, things are going great up at Barstool. I feel a lot of momentum at work and getting a lot of support, and I'm loving that for me.
Hell yeah, man. You're balling. I'm going to give you a question to think about that I'm going to get the answer for at the end of the interview. But
Okay.
we are talking about good vibe athletes, right? So, I mean, like, we're talking like Ken Griffey Jr. So, just think cool.
Okay.
It
Just
doesn't
kinda
have to be
think cool.
athletic ability. It
Joe
can just
Namath
be cool.
up there in Broadway, kind of Joe Namath feel. Ken Griffey Jr., Deion Sanders, Allen Iverson, some of the names that's been kicked around. We're thinking about doing a March Madness bracket, a little off bracket for our listeners to interact with. I'm going to get from you at the end of our conversation on maybe some thoughts that you may have. We have Lane Kiffin on the list.
Nice.
So tell me what was your reaction to the Super Bowl? I know that you're Patrick Mahomes' doppelganger, and that you're a huge Mahomes fan. What was your point of view of Super Sunday?
Man, I'm mad at myself, to be honest, because I always preach, like, looking at the offensive line stuff real close, and, like, I just, like, the Mahomes still be able to move around and make plays, and just no Eric Fisher, and that Tampa front seven. I mean, I look back. I mean, once they got Vita Vea back, man, Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, Levante David, Devin White, I mean, those guys, Dominic Sue, man, that was one of the best front sevens I've ever seen. I mean, just completely dominant. Big props to Devin White. You know, it's been so cool watching his story. I started doing sports radio in Shreveport his senior year of high school, or I guess maybe it wasn't senior high school. It was right when he was getting done there. And seeing, you know, he kind of got I remember he got a little trouble at the end of high school and, you know, went to LSU and then made glad he listened to Dave Aranda to move the linebacker his freshman year. Ends up a top 5 pick and a Super Bowl champ with the captain of the defense second year, and really just happy for him, to be honest. And Leonard Fournette too. What a story his arc has been. You know, he was running like sophomore year Leonard Fournette in the playoffs. Man, the explosiveness is back, and you know Tampa Bay, dominated and earned it. I hated seeing KC get embarrassed like that, but the football's decided at the line of scrimmage, and no matter who you got playing quarterback, you can't block. I mean, Mahomes got pressured 38 times that football game. Thought Andy Reid could have made a few better coaching adjustments, to be honest, but there's kind of some bad juju with the Chiefs with the thing with his son and that car wreck before it. But Tampa earned it, and we've seen this in the NFL. It's like, I guess, we've seen the Giants do it a couple times, the Steelers, Green Bay, and now the Bucs. You can get in the playoffs at like 10-6, 11-5, and you just get it hot, turn it on, get momentum, and you can run right to the Super Bowl. It's wild that we've seen that a few times now.
Did that remind you of anything you've ever seen with Mahomes on Sunday? I know it came down to the protection of him, but I mean, he was driven into the dirt.
It actually reminded me of the LSU Texas Bowl that he played in. When I remember I watched the film of that where it was Patrick Mahomes and Joaquin Grant playing 2 on 11. And Devin White was on the field in that one too for LSU. But that actually reminded me a lot of that game when Mahomes just didn't have an offensive line out there. And he was able to make a few more plays against LSU. They lost 56-47. But that's kind of what it reminded me of. He was just trying to play backyard ball against just an elite defense. And, man, it was too much. But what a run for Tampa, though. Got to give them a lot of credit. I know it's unfortunate. I had a few Bucs fans coming at me on Twitter yesterday because I'm still a little bit of a bitter Saints fan, and it's kind of frustrating. The Saints go 2-1 against them this year, but the one that matters, they definitely didn't win. And man, just got to give Bruce Arians. I am happy for Bruce Arians, though. I always loved those Arizona teams, Bruce Arians and Bowles with the Badger and Patrick Peterson, and I remember they lost the NFC Championship game to Cam Newton in Carolina, and I always was a fan of Arians and Bowles, and I was glad, I'm happy for them in a way to see them get one.
What's the feel around Brady in the Northeast, specifically with your boss Portnoy? What's he like with Brady getting another ring but doing it in a different helmet?
Man, Dave actually came out with the video Monday morning saying he was like kind of sad in a way because it just didn't feel right with him doing it in another helmet. He was just like, I didn't know I would feel this way, but they're not supposed to be happy. Brady and Gronk are our guys. Brady and Gronk are our guys, not theirs. And all these Pats fans that are celebrating like the Pats won the Super Bowl. I mean, we did. And he came out with this video, and like I was kind of thinking when I heard the video, I was like, man. You got 6 championships in a 20-year span. You're not going to get any sympathy from me. You should be happy with what you have. You know, I still look back as a Saints fan, just thrilled we got one, even with all the playoff problems. And so you're not going to get any sympathy from me on that deal. But, you know, there were a lot of Pats fans that were, a lot of people were pulling for Brady and Gronk in the office. That was kind of the overwhelming sentiment. And, I mean, I don't know. What can you really say about the Brady thing? I know everything's been said already. In fact, he has more Super Bowls by himself than his team has. I mean,
it's unbelievable, bro. It's
And
unbelievable.
the other thing, too, he's 43 years old. He can walk out on top with 7 Super Bowls right now. Like, and you know, there's like, what is there, a 0% chance of him retiring?
Negative.
43 when he was
Negative.
7?
I mean, did you see Nance ask him on the podium after the game? I mean, he was like, you know the answer to that, Jim. I'll be back.
Run it back.
I mean, we're running this thing back. I mean, if you look at that, they're set up to do it again.
He's going to win another Super Bowl.
I'm calling it now. Patrick Peterson's going to Tampa.
Oh, I could see that. No, I immediately thought that too. Tampa's actually got some cap room too, but man, they're the Jason Light did such a good
Wake
job.
up, man.
I'm awake. Come on, man. I'm awake, but Jason Light did such a good job with their roster construction. You know, I know the story is Tom Brady, but like, man, that front 7 and just all the weapons they got and their offensive line improved a ton. I mean, I feel like football's such a funny sport where the quarterback gets all the credit. Brady certainly deserves it, but man, that defense is what won it the playoffs. I thought the efforts against the Saints. I mean, you go through Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes like they did. I think you got to, I think they allowed 55 points total in those 3 games. I think that's kind of really what won it for them.
Mintzy, we got somebody down here asking about a little business at Barstool. Thomas Darren wants to know what's happened with Barstool's XM channel. I know that you had mentioned that it was going away, but you were still going to have a presence on the radio.
Yeah, so what's going on right now is our XM channel did go away a couple weeks ago, but we do Pick Central on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube and Facebook channels every day from noon to 1. I'm a part of it with Brandon Walker, and kind of a funny show because it's Brandon Walker and I with Mississippi and Louisiana, and then it's like 3 Northeast guys, and so we've got a pretty funny dynamic on there. Everybody messes with each other, gives each other a lot of crap. But I do that noon to 1. I still do after dinner minutes, and then I'm actually going to do some writing this week, Jordy. Y'all make guys.
Hey.
We're having a weird week. We're having a little bit of a weird week where a lot of us are working remotely right now, and so. But basically, I'm gonna, y'all may make an appearance too, in the talking about, like, I'm kind of wanting to do something on my 2020 journey from Shreveport to Oxford to Baton Rouge to New York before it becomes dated. So I'm trying to get it written this week. Trying to contribute to the blog, but man, a lot of fun stuff ahead. Obviously, it's all about being patient with with COVID, and I'm trying to tell myself that. But man, I can't wait to travel and hit up all these pin game sports books around the country and all the properties we've got. And I think it's just going to be so much fun.
So Mintz, I've seen you posting on Instagram. I feel like every night you're like somewhere different, eating something that looks even more delicious than the thing you ate the day before. So what has been your favorite place you found in New York to eat?
Okay, so my favorite place I found, there's this ramen place. It's like 3 blocks from my work called Kame NYC that has this spicy pork tonkatsu ramen. It's like creamy and spicy. That's like, I've eaten it 2 or 3 days a week. It's unbelievable. But that's probably my favorite. The pizza thing is ridiculous up here, but I'm trying to just know. What the thing is actually, I've been trying to live a healthy lifestyle.
I know.
I know. And so, no. So the pizza thing, I've been eating gluten-free, and it's been all right lately.
I saw you got a gluten-free pizza from Joe's, which I can't imagine because Joe's pizza is just so good. I'm sure the gluten-free is good too, but
the gluten-free wasn't that good. I was just giving them a shout out. I was giving them a shout out because they were supporting the Barstool Fun yesterday. But no, the pizza's great. The bagels are awesome too. I like them some. Man, it's just the variety and mix. The sushi up here is phenomenal. I'm looking forward to trying some of the omakase sushi dinners here at some point when indoor dining comes back. But it's just really the variety of options. It's
especially when you're trying to be healthy. And so you got picked to be in some sort of competition, right? To lose weight. Is that What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I'm in this whoop competition. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's so fun for me. Y'all know me for a while now, and y'all seen this whole art, but it's like the most fun ever for me. It's like watching everybody's opinions be changed and me get to change people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so fun. And I still would like to lose 40 more pounds, but I'm not like too worried about
I
that.
don't know, Mintz. I feel like you're wasting away already. You're so skinny.
No, it's like mindset stuff though, more just how you
for
feel,
sure.
and for how I look though, I mean, I'm ripping off 4 and 5 mile runs now pretty easily.
That's incredible, man.
awesome.
Alan Faneca just told a story 30 minutes ago about the first time he stepped out of bed 30 pounds lighter and what it did for his brain. I mean, it put him on a mission where he lost 100 pounds.
Man, I don't think it's any kind of coincidence that the Barstool thing and just the way my life exploded in 2020. I mean, I think the biggest thing was the health turnaround, and obviously I watched the alcohol now too. And I think that is giving me the self-confidence to carry this big a stage. I mean, to be honest, if I still partied like I used to, I don't think I could handle the fame of this Barstool thing. I mean, this thing is so big, and I think that this is the way I can, be able to function and handle it. We've all, let's not kid ourselves. Many a man has had a fall from grace in the public eye. I'm trying to avoid all that.
Yeah.
And if I've somehow avoided all that so far, I'm pretty lucky.
I think you're doing great.
I'm knocking on wood for you down here, Mintzy. We got you, baby. Hang tight, big boy. Hang tight.
Mintzy, what's up, man? This is Nick Ashton. I just had a question for you. You talked about
go ahead.
You talked about writing that post, the blog about your life changing in 2020, going from Oxford to New York. What kind of change, like that change in your life, how does that make you feel? How does that affect you?
Oh, it's unbelievable. My confidence level is so and it's not a cockiness. It's a confidence. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. But
definitely,
just to be really truthful, I'm on camera all the time right now. And when you don't like what you look like in the mirror, it affects you. You could act like it doesn't, but it does.
Definitely.
And I mean, I don't know, I feel like the weight loss and just feeling healthier and stuff is shining through with the Barstool, all the video stuff. I don't, I used to do, radio, but you're kind of hidden on the radio. And now we're moving to this digital age where everything's on video. And I think it's affected me tremendously. And also, I mean, I just feel better all the time. I sleep better. The mental aspect of it, my brain's been so sharp. I've been thinking 3-6 months ahead on business stuff. The whole last year, and I've just feel like I've been really just sharp, whereas my mind was in a fog for a lot of years. And so, I mean, I can't say enough about it. I almost feel reborn in a way. It's that powerful.
I bet those DMs are on juice too. Money Mintz checking in from New York this morning. So wait, Mintz, does like the town, does the city of New York shut down in blizzards? Like you mentioned, y'all been working remotely. I mean, if it sleets in South Louisiana, I mean, it's like the pandemic. Cars are parked for a week. What is the city like in these snowstorms?
Man, it doesn't shut. Well, you still can take the subways, but it empties out. They hadn't had indoor dining here December 1st, and so kind of weird. You're walking around on the street. You don't really have anywhere you can go in and get warm.
Right?
Kind of cold, but yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it shuts down pretty good. You could, like I said, you can still take subways. I've got some snow boots and stuff. It hasn't been the end of the world, but this is a little bit of like, if there was a kind of a sadder week, it's this week coming off the Super Bowl, being in the middle of winter. But man, I'm hoping things, slowly start getting a little better in March and April. And, I just think that I feel like we might have the roaring 20s in front of us when all this. I mean, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to say that COVID ends, but I really think that I'm curious to see how people's attitudes are affected. I feel like we're all going to be so much more grateful to go to concerts, sporting events.
Oh my gosh!
Just a bar, just a bar,
just face to face.
Right.
Yeah, I just feel like there's going to be hopefully a different attitude when things come back. And I don't know if that's going to be in 3 months, 6 months, whatever. I'm no doctor, but I feel like right now the move is just, instead of worrying about stuff we can't control, I try to worry about what I can control, and that's my work and my health and all that. And I feel like I'm setting myself up for an extremely bright future, and very excited about it.
I know we're pretty far away from football season, but it's kind of creeping up. Are you planning to come visit for any games?
Oh, well, I'm planning on coming back south. I'm trying to get back south in a few weeks in mid-March. So we got some fun stuff. Rivers, Deion Sanders coaching Jackson State, the old Mississippi thing. Well, Deion works for Barstool
I
now.
know that. We are big
And so
fans
I
of Deion Sanders here.
Huge fans.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to come back for that Jackson State at Grambling game on Saturday, March the 6th. It's on ESPNU, and I'm maybe trying to do some content, maybe hit up that Eddie Robinson Museum. Possibly, I think that would be cool. But I'm trying to come back, maybe check the college baseball out, do some stuff with 10 gaming properties.
Are you a baseball guy? I guess we always talk about football. Okay.
I am a college baseball guy. Yes,
You got a great team to root for in Ole Miss.
Yeah, well, until the postseason.
Let's not go too far. Nick.
We're really good in the regular season, though. But yeah, I'm wanting to do some kind of. Barstool hadn't done a lot with college baseball so far, so in my head, I'm kind of thinking about doing some stuff with that. I think that would be fun, but yeah, I'm trying to make it back for a couple weeks and run around Louisiana, Mississippi, and then in the future, though, I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff at these sports books in Louisiana, Mississippi, and obviously around Oxford, and it's surreal how it's weird being up here right now, Rivers, because it's like I have a really secluded life.
Yeah.
Like I go to work and I go home and I get to go food. I go to the private gym and that's it. So it's so weird because it's so big on social media and publicly, but it's like really isolated, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of a weird dynamic right now. And then when I went back during the South over Christmas, I mean, it's a different deal for me now.
And we love seeing you too. We'll throw a party for you when you get back.
Oh man, I look forward to it. I look forward to coming on here every week too. I love seeing the momentum of the show. From everything I'm reading, and I've been following it. Seems like y'all are doing great.
Thank you, buddy. Absolutely.
Yeah, Ben, you mentioned the vibe around college baseball up there. I know MLB is pretty big up there in the north. How do they treat college baseball? Is it kind of like a D league almost for them?
Well, I mean, the fact that Barstool's never done anything with it shows you how they treat it.
Right.
To be honest. But, I think that the thing about college baseball is like Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas and Texas and SEC, if we get something going, those fans will support it. I don't think it'd ever be like a national thing. It's just such a regional sport, but it is big in the South and in Florida and Texas. And, I feel like if you focus on those fan bases that put 10, 12,000 in seats for games like LSU and Ole Miss and State and Arkansas, we could build something. The biggest thing on college baseball, we need to get some lines on the games. Because, I mean, if you put, there's no reason to have them offshore. We need to start getting lines on these things, and then the game will grow. A lot of people gamble on it, I mean, look what that does to other sports. And so I kind of think that I'm hoping we could
throw in the Barstool Sports book, dude.
I mean, that would be some fun content.
I'm talking to them about it. I don't know if they can do it for this year, but we're working on that. But I'm looking forward to the college baseball thing. It's one of my favorite sports, so I'm trying to support it any way I can.
I think that would be some fun content, even if you just kind of did like a small tour around to the different baseball stadiums. I mean, we obviously people in the SEC would support you. Barstool has not done anything like that, and I would love to see it. Get you in the dude,
No, I'd love to. I'll go to the dude. Look, especially I'd love to check that out. Obviously, like going to Alex Fox and Baum Stadium in Arkansas, and then love Swayze in Oxford. I think that would be good content, something different. But it's all about just being I'm just trying to be open-minded. I've got a lot of Louisiana content I'm planning too, especially from New Orleans post-COVID. Thinking about doing some po' boy reviews around Louisiana, which I think that would get a good response. I think the food reviews are a big Barstool thing, and I don't know, like whether it be Mardi Gras or NOLA Food or Music, I want to kind of show the real New Orleans to the nation coming out of COVID, and I think that could be a good thing. And I'm getting a ton of support out of New Orleans now. Everybody's really glad there's a Saint. Well, everybody's glad there's a Saint Pelicans fan up here.
Well, and you're a great representative.
Mintzy, give me an athlete. Who's an athlete that puts off cool vibes for you?
Athlete to play. Now, I was thinking about it. I mean, I'm just going to say Chad Kelly.
Oh, gross. Get out of here.
I love it. Yes, indeed. Mintzy, proud of you, bro. Keep up the hard work. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Always.
Bye, Mintz.
Appreciate it, bro.
Ben Mintz checking in from New York City. Sounds pretty cold this morning up at Barstool. As
It's gonna be just as cold here on Monday.
Money Mitzi. Oof. What are we gonna do, bro?
What are we gonna
I don't know. I guess just yawn a little bit.
I don't like
He
it.
had that cold weather vibe, dude.
He did.
was a little
He
tired.
sounded more
kinda
tired than me.
wrapped up.
Yeah.
Sheesh. All right, when we come back, we'll answer your questions here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Daily, we're brought to you by Johnson and Spillers. Remember, the official dentist of the Jordy Culotta Show. They have 2 offices, Prairieville and in Baton Rouge, and they are at the center of our Valentine's giveaway that wraps
Yes,
up today at
So-
9 a.m.
Yeah, so we are going to read at the end of the show, we're going to read some of the date stories and we're going to pick a winner.
We'll come back on the Jordy Culotta Show. The Jordy Culotta Show is powered every day by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com, located in LaPlace, Louisiana, with the greatest selections of new and used Chevrolet vehicle inventory. Over in LaPlace at Go Chevrolet, they have the latest models in stock. They provide financial assistance to both new and used car customers. Stop in today. It's a convenient stop, whether you're going to New Orleans or coming from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. Stop in and see Lee Carney and Nick Richard at Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. If you have water, mold, or fire damage, you need to get in touch with Advana Clean today. I tell the story all the time. On Christmas Day, I woke up with what I thought was water damage in a room. I gave my friend Bradley Lynch a call at 225-369-5228. And on Christmas Day, 20 minutes later, Bradley was at the house diagnosing the problem, and he was back with his team to clean it up. Find out for yourself online at AdvanaClean.com.
That's at vanaclean.com, ADVANTA clean.com.
Johnson and Spillers Dentistry with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge. Stop in to see them today. They provide the highest quality of dental treatment in a relaxed and professional atmosphere. They also offer Botox and teeth whitening. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales, online at johnsonspillers.com. Lanois Agency, online at LANOIXagency.com, helping you today with Baton Rouge auto insurance, home insurance, flood insurance, or business insurance. Get in touch with Randy, Brian, and David, 749-5640, or you can shop them online at LANOIXagency.com. This is a personal testimony from me. They handle all of my insurance, whether it's my home, auto, flood insurance, business insurance. They're the best, man. They're my insurance agent, but they're my friends first. Online at LANOIXagency.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet, answering your questions. If you're inside of the YouTube chat app, we appreciate that very much. Still need to name that.
The chat, yeah. Also, if you're in there right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, if you would like to.
And those Ask the JC Show questions.
Daily, we're brought to you by Daniel Newman. He is an Edward Jones representative located in central Louisiana. He is in Magnolia Square, right across the street from Stab's Steak and Seafood. We were in there last week. Beautiful office over at on Magnolia Square. He can help you out. He's helping me out with my 401k. In fact, I'm meeting him on Thursday morning, and he is going to he'll lead the investments on that. If you are traveling to the plants this morning, if you work at Dow, Exxon, and you're a little concerned about the finances, how it works, retirement, 401k, all of that stuff, Newman knows the financial ins and outs of Dow and Exxon. He knows them as good as anybody. He can help you out with that today. Get in touch with him. He's online. Daniel Newman, you can find him, but you can also call him, 261-8262, 225 area code 261-8262. Call Daniel Newman and tell him you heard right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
D-Loose86
Yeah, there we
in
go,
the
yeah.
chat. Is YouTube currently the only way to listen to the show live? It's a problem in the car since you can't click away from YouTube without it stopping what you're listening to. YouTube is currently the only live way to watch us, but our guy Lloyd, he's got a workaround.
Got the workaround. You go to YouTube on your browser on your phone.
Not the app.
Not the app. Don't use the app. It won't work. So go to the browser, open it up old school analog style. Hit the AA section on the search bar, and that'll bring down the request desktop website. Click that sucker. Select the video you want to play. The Jordy Culotta Show. Lock your phone. Hit play again, and you're live, baby. You're with us. And how about Culotta's Corner for the chat name?
I don't know. Jordy's trying to mouth something to me, and I can't understand what he's trying to say. Will you tell me? Is it a secret?
Area 51.
Oh, I was like, what are we going
like
now?
that.
I kind of like that. I mean, the undisclosed location.
The skulls.
The skulls.
I love that movie.
Yes.
I said that. I want Grant to grow up and like be a skull.
All right, so what we're gonna do before we get out of here at
Winklevoss
9
twin.
o'clock. Before we get out of here at 9 o'clock, so we got 29 minutes. We're gonna give 3 finalists that we're gonna put on Twitter, and then they're gonna vote the name. So the skulls.
Will you put these in the chat? So I can,
I
the
got
skulls, Area 51 are our 2 top seeds right now. We need a third.
Do you like Culotta Corner? Not really.
We don't need a mouthful. We don't need a mouthful.
Yeah.
We just need, you know.
Hey, throw them out there. If it doesn't stick,
Yeah,
pick
that's
it
right,
up
that's
and
right,
throw
that's
it
right.
again.
Yeah, for sure.
right.
But yeah, put them in the thing. Nick will grab them, and we'll go through them, and we'll
Yep.
pick the 3 best.
Jesse McCormick frat chat.
Nah.
Nah.
I'm not trying to haze
Add
anybody in
me
here.
in the chat so I know you're talking about the name for it.
And we will post on Twitter. And whatever majority vote wins.
Yep.
And
Okay.
starting tomorrow morning, we will name the chat.
That's what it will be called.
We'll name it that.
I'm also checking Facebook for
The Send-In.
for the group
Oh,
we
I
have.
like
I
that.
kind of like that.
Just send in.
It comes from your boy, Steele Henry.
Yeah.
I gotta like it. I gotta like it.
There were a couple of, like, right when we first started doing this, that, like, some
Sorry.
suggestions. Yeah, trying to play footsie.
Sorry.
I know. I took
my drum.
I took my feet out from under me because my feet were starting to hurt, but I still don't want to get
Watch your
caught on the
calves.
ground. I don't want
Watch
to get
your
caught on the ground. Okay, so let's get to some of these Ask the JC Show questions. Patrick Kimmery wants to know what the top 3 Italian restaurants in BR are.
Oof.
BRR.
I got a couple.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Top
though.
3 in Baton Rouge. So Baton Rouge only.
Yeah, Baton Rouge
Because,
only. We're just staying Baton
because
Rouge.
Italian barrels on the list. I mean,
We're
and
just Baton Rouge.
Okay, all right. I heard you. I heard you.
You keep trying to give them a shout out, but we're just in Baton Rouge.
I'm going Gino's number 1.
I mean, Gino's, yeah.
Not me, yeah, there's no question.
Okay, really? I mean, there's no
Yeah,
question.
I think
That was
Gino's.
my number 1
Yeah,
as well.
you got to go to Julio's just for atmosphere, if anything.
That's what I was going to be
Lawrence
my
bread,
number
bro?
1.
No.
For atmosphere, if anything, it's like a be seen. It's a whole vibe. It's like the question we were asking doesn't necessarily have to be athletic, but there's good vibes.
My second one
That's
is
how
a little off the
Julius
grid, and it's Nino's. It's
Oh,
on
that's
Blue Bonnet.
That's good. Nina's
Yeah.
is good.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Blue
yeah,
Bonnet
yeah,
Shopping
that's good.
Center, and it is probably the size of the undisclosed
It's very
But
location.
I love that. I
Which I
love
love.
that.
No,
Yes.
that's great. That's
It
great.
feels very Italian.
When we were in it, like all the places we ate were this
Yes,
size, you know?
Yes, yes.
Dim
we
those
hit-
lights down,
You have
come
our
to the
table,
back.
right?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
right this
yeah,
way,
right
sir, in the
this
corner.
way.
Right this way. Make sure my back is to the door.
Yeah.
2 bottles.
Little Village?
It's not bad. It's fine.
So it's a fist fight right here between the Giulio brothers.
Gino's.
No, Gino's is
Number 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
one's
Gino's
gonna
is
listen
one.
to all
No one's
of
going to
them.
argue with that.
And then I'm going to put Anthony's Italian Deli on the list
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can get genuine Italian cuisine and you can also buy Italian
Yeah.
groceries there. If you want to make your pasta, you can go do that.
That's
I'm
big,
good with
that's
that one.
huge,
I
yeah.
was
I
actually
mean-
thinking more just like fancy sit down places, but
Yes.
that's a good that counts.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, so I was between Anthony's, DeGiulio's, and Monjuni's, and I'm gonna go Anthony's.
I think I'd go Anthony's instead.
Okay,
over
so those are my
Mongenie's,
top
yeah.
3.
Okay,
Those are my top
There
3.
we go. Check
yeah, I
them
like
all
those.
out.
I like those.
DeGiulio's, Nino's, and Anthony's Italian Deli.
That was a good workshop.
I clearly have more-
section
Thank
right
you.
there.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
I clearly have more Italian restaurants to go to.
Oh well, I was like, does anybody in this room have any that we didn't mention?
Yep.
No, you-
Monjuni's. He said
Monjuni's?
Monjuni's. Yeah, yeah.
You're opening my eyes here. I need to go check
I'm
these
telling you, on the list, because everybody knows Gino's, and it is the number 1 seed, and Gino is he's the restaurateur probably of the city. But Nino's on the list is the diamond. Like, that's the spot that you may not
Yeah.
have heard of.
Yeah.
It's so unassuming. You can pass right by it.
Pocarella's Casa d'Italia.
Yeah, somebody said that in the whatever we're calling the
That's
chat.
that is on Corsi. It's on Corsi past Sherwood. And that's another
R.I.P.
one.
R.I.P. Macaroni Grill.
See ya.
NIT.
Somebody said panetta's, but panetta's
It's
is
not true
European.
Italian. Yeah,
it's
that's right.
European
Yeah,
food.
that's right. That's right.
So it's
That's
not
right.
technically.
I love
technically
Panetta's
Italian.
too.
Panetta's
Panetta's
good.
is a mood.
Yeah, Panetta's is a mood.
Panetta's is a mood.
It's a real vibe.
And you know what I love about Panetta? You stretch out 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which if you know going in,
But
I'm
look, that
good
is a
with.
European vibe. If
Right.
you
Yeah,
go to dinner
definitely.
somewhere,
Right.
you were there for 2 or 3
Definitely.
hours.
Right. Definitely.
That's your night.
Yeah.
I'm cool with Panetta's, but it's more European.
And if I know going in that that's going to be the deal, I'm
That's
good
your
with
night.
it.
Yep.
I'm good with it. Keep the
Yep.
bottles coming.
Marcel, did Justin Jefferson get robbed by not winning Rookie of the Year, or am I just biased? as
We
an
are
LSU fan?
biased, and he deserves a lot of credit. But what Justin Herbert accomplished, I thought in his rookie season was very deserved of getting that award. The rookie class was incredible.
It was amazing.
This
no doubt.
season. I mean, you think about Burrow. If Burrow doesn't get banged up, he's battling Herbert right down to the end
Yep.
for that award. I mean, Justin Jefferson set rookie records. He set overall records. He broke Randy Moss records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that alone to me just screams Rookie of the Year. But if you see what Herbert did, after not playing for, I believe, the first 4 games, and then he had 7 straight 300-yard passing games, and to do that and almost kind of look like it was easy. I mean, he never really looked like he was pressing. He never looked like he was...
Oh, the whole playbook was open.
And they were a bad team.
Yeah, and he was flinging it around.
Yeah, I want to know what you think about this because I've heard
I
this
loved it,
argument
Herbert.
tossed around a lot. Is like, where do they fit in the context of their position in the NFL? So, right, Herbert's kind of like the middle of the pack quarterback in terms of the grand scheme of the NFL. Jefferson was like a top 5 wide receiver for anybody, no matter what age, no matter what team. What do you think about that argument in terms of favoring Jefferson because he was high?
No, I think it does, but the quarterback position is always going. I mean, look at the Heisman Trophy.
Look at the MVP in the Super Bowl.
Look at the pay structure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at the contracts. And I think a lot of people that would vote on that would probably say that Justin Jefferson's production is built on or has to be complemented by a quarterback's output, right? So the quarterback position may take a little bit of the allure or some of the shine that Jefferson really deserves because, I mean, Kirk Cousins is his quarterback. It's not Justin Herbert.
Right.
You know, I mean, Jefferson was able to do a lot with not a little, but with mediocre talent at that position. I think Herbert, for what he had around him, and I mean, remember Tyron Johnson at LSU?
Yeah.
The state's number 1
Number
wide
3.
receiver.
Yeah.
He didn't only make that team, but Justin Herbert now gets him probably to a second contract.
For sure.
Because, I mean, like, you got weapons that everybody's in play. Like you said, the entire field was in play. I loved Herbert. I can't believe that the Miami Dolphins looked at Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert side by side and said, we're going to take that guy. Because I was very speculative on what Herbert was going to look like as a pro, but I was blinded by SEC and just watching this geographical area of football. I had no idea that Herbert had that live of an arm or was that big. I mean, he is huge.
It's kind of
Yeah,
an
he
indictment on Oregon because they didn't use him like that.
No, they did not use him to his potential at all.
I mean, I didn't know he was that good.
No, me either.
I didn't know he was that good. And so I love Justin Jefferson. I think that Jefferson is he's a decade pro that's probably going to be potentially a Hall of Famer.
He's got
really
it in
and
him.
truly. Like he
No
could be
question.
a Hall of Famer. But I think they got the Rookie of the Year award. I think they got it right. I
I like your take.
I clicked the wrong tab on my computer, and this is what popped up. It's Barn Rat.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, we were talking Barn Rat. We missed the 1
He's
seed.
a 1 seed.
I was gonna say,
It is a vibe.
John Daly is the original.
Yeah,
the
but
OG.
Barn Rat's
We're
like-
getting actual SIGs out there.
But Barn Rat, well, he apparently, I read a bit about Barn Rat. That's what they call him for short. He was a big smoker, and then he moved to vape because that's better for you, he says.
Okay.
But man, anybody who's just trying to collect Ferraris and Yeezys.
But that cat's a vibe.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
and he's good.
That picture should be my profile pic.
And look, and it's not even that, like, yes, he is a vibe, but he's also really good at golf.
Yeah.
That's like
He was leading the Masters for 2 days.
How someone in the chat said Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like that kind of vibe
What
where
a
he like
good
makes,
job on that name.
Nice job.
like he makes
Nice job.
crazy plays, but then he also says
he
like
is
he's
a
the
vibe.
greatest.
I love him.
Like
I love him.
He makes his own. You know how people were doing like those Chuck Norris jokes?
yeah.
He's like the Chuck Norris of like
Yeah.
sports.
I love Big Z. I'm not trying it.
Oh
Nice work.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
live.
Barn Rat is my vibe. I saved him for last because, like, Larry Bird is, we all know Larry Bird, but Barn Rat, what are you gonna do with him?
Rivs, make sure you YouTube the UNO Lakefront.
Oh, I will.
Atlanta,
No,
Boston
I'm
game.
into it.
Please do that.
I could watch Larry Bird highlights all day long.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the game where he just went lefty all game and said he was going to do it before the game. I'm going to drop 40 on your head with my left hand.
He would walk in and ask what the records were for the arena so that he could just, just casually break them.
I love that stuff.
Just a job down.
I just wanted to know how many I needed to get today.
Right.
What are we doing?
The ceiling is the roof.
I think we have one more question. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to whenever I got distracted by Barn Rat. Why did Manning leave?
Why did Manning leave? Which
That's
one?
the question.
It's up to interpretation. I guess.
yeah.
Oh, Charles Manning.
Yeah, I was thinking Charles Manning, but I was like, is there another Manning that we should be thinking about?
That's a good. I mean, I don't.
You
think,
tell us.
I don't know if it's. I just don't know.
That is a
it
good
was a
question.
bad fit. I think it was a bad fit. I mean,
We miss him.
yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Especially defensively. But yeah, I thought it was a weird time to leave. I thought it didn't make a lot of sense. But sometimes that's usually the case around transfers and around midseason. People leaving. I mean, there's not a lot of sensible information around it. So I don't have anything to tell you on this is why it happened. This is the cause of it. I think that there was probably only one basketball and only 40 minutes to play. And I think we said this a lot going into the season with a talented roster and so many playmakers and people that really play dominantly with the ball in their hands. Somebody's going to get pissed. I mean, somebody at some point is going
Always
to
going to
say,
be an odd man left out.
yeah, I mean, somebody's going to say, I'm out. I think I should be playing more. I think I'm better than that guy, whatever the competition, however it goes. But, I think, we kind of knew going in that somebody was going to be out, and it happened to be Manning. They do miss him.
Yeah, long wing defender. Then as soon as he leaves, we give up the SEC record for 3-pointers. It was just hand in hand.
Sorry, going back to the vibe thing. I bet that there's some really good vibey soccer players. I just don't know
Maradona.
soccer well enough.
Yeah.
But I bet other than the ones that we know, I bet there's some ones out there that I'm just not aware of. So if you're a big soccer guy or girl, put them in the chat that is yet to be named.
Oh, Megan Rapinoe's a vibe.
Yeah, she's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a vibe.
Who
There's
was,
a lot
is
of
it
we didn't
Brandy
include any
Chastain?
women athletes. She
Yes.
was a vibe.
Brandy Chastain.
Ripping her
That's
shirt
a
off.
Yeah. Okay.
vibe.
Yeah. That's who I was.
There's
Thinking.
some women athletes
Candace
that are vibes.
Parker's definitely a vibe.
A vibe.
Simone Augustus is a vibe.
Love Simone.
But right now,
I'll never
but look,
forget
but you're just
watching-
thinking. We're just talking about athletes. Let's not talk about athletic ability.
Yeah, but
I
Simone's
don't
a
know.
vibe. I mean,
I feel like some of them are just really
she's
good
swagged
athletes.
She's
out.
all swagged out.
Yeah.
And I was
Candace,
still.
I guess Candace Parker for me. She's just a good athlete. She's not
I
necessarily
still
a
remember
vibe.
watching Candace Parker yam it.
Yeah.
On the open floor. But I also recall vividly walking into the dungeon, the old dungeon basement gym at the PMAC that still stands. It's where the volleyball team practices now. And watching a 10th grade, a sophomore aged Simone Augustus bust. I'm telling you, put points, shots, killing the team that would come in and practice against the women's team. So it's usually like the all-star rec team,
Right.
on the college campus that the women's coach will go get to play. And they brought they were playing a pickup game before practice, before LSU's practice started. And obviously Simone had carte blanche; she could walk in and watch any practice. She had owners, whatever she wanted in the program. And she was a sophomore in high school, and just
emasculating
walking
them.
the ball down the floor. It was the first time I'd ever seen in person. I'll never forget this. It was the first time I'd ever seen in person somebody catch an inbounds pass under the goal and dribble the ball all the way up the floor between their legs. And she was spiking it in between her legs, dribbling up the
That
floor.
is a vibe.
That's a vibe.
That's a vibe.
I'm telling you, with and
Yeah.
ribs with pulled
No,
up
she's a
pulled
vibe
up
to me,
purple
yes.
socks with J's on, with a headband on, with her hair braided. I mean, with the cut off shirt underneath, and just giving it to him, staring him down, and without question the best ball handler in the gym. Would dribble, shake you up. I was like, that was the day that it was like,
Tanya Harding.
And then she has to
she's
call
a real.
mom.
She is a
Tanya
vibe, man.
Harding's a vibe. Like even
Kim Mulkey.
it's like even before Tanya Harding did what she did allegedly, she was a vibe. Just her whole style and everything about her was.
Movie's great.
Yeah, Pat Summitt, Kim Mulkey for sure. Hope Solo, she's a vibe. She had an attitude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, she did.
like she was, Cam Newton. How did we not think of him?
Cam Newton, 100%.
Oh, that's your guy. Oh, sorry. Oh, Katie. Oh. Okay, so you want to look through some of these names really quick, and then we're gonna give out a winner to the Johnson and Spiller giveaway.
Oh, nice.
I'm just gonna read through some of the names. We're gonna off air decide what our 3 favorite are, and we're gonna put it on Twitter. There'll be a vote. That's what you guys will be named.
Yep. So we want to decide on the 3 here?
We don't necessarily have to do the 3. I'm just gonna read through them just so
Okay.
you can start,
All right, workshopping.
Yep. The Skulls,
Okay.
Area 51,
Love that one.
The Send-In.
Love that
That was
one.
a mouthful though.
Yeah.
The Send-Inners.
Kinda rolls.
Yeah.
The Send-Inners.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Let's check
necessarily.
in on the din.
It needs to be what we call the people.
Check
you
in on
know?
the send-in.
Check in on the Send-In. The Bunker.
Okay.
The Dugout.
Eh.
MBOBR Satellite Office.
What?
Ooh. The Chamber of Secrets. The NIT.
That might have just been a
That's
comment
kinda
on a
funny.
basketball team. I
kinda
don't know. You didn't tag me, so I didn't know.
The Cantina. I think that's kind of cool. The Burrow Bunker.
We do love Burrow here, buddy.
Grandma's Garage. Jordy's Joint.
Ooh, little double entendre.
Kingmaker's Kingdom. The Peanut Gallery. So what we need to keep in mind, though, so if we name the chat, what are we going to call the people in it? So keep that in mind
The
as we're...
sinners in the send-in?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the sinners or like the...
Area 51ers?
Yeah, like...
The aliens, you call them the aliens.
Extraterrestrials.
The
Yeah.
ETs.
The ETs.
So those are the
Outcast?
stuff that people... The Outcast is not
I
bad.
kind of like that.
The... So those are the ones that people have submitted. You still have time. We have about 15 minutes to submit.
Pat McAfee.
He's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So
the
keep...
Lanois layer.
The Lanois layer.
For an extra?
Oh man. So keep giving it the sauce. That's kind of weird. Anna Kournikova, she's a vibe.
Anna Kournikova. God, I haven't heard that. Is she still married to
Yep. Enrique Iglesias.
Yes. Tyler Moore. Still the best walk-up song of all time.
Oh,
Best
man.
walk-up song of all time.
So those are those. So let me get to some of these. I'm gonna read just a couple. We got a really long one in here, and I haven't had time to necessarily read through it. So maybe we just do it live on air here.
Take your shot.
And then I have a couple that we'll read through, and I'll let the
Take
group
your
decide.
shot.
Hold on, let me make sure. The Degenerates, Mike texted in.
Okay.
It's not bad. Okay, so this is Christian Perkins. All right, Christian, I haven't read through this. I hope it's clean. The worst date that I had when I was stationed in Japan, I'm in the Navy and she was in the Marines. The date itself went all right. The place I planned on going up ended up being booked, so I had to scramble to find a second place. So there was...
Relatable.
Okay. After dinner, we got coffee, and she informed me she was the daughter of a Marine general, which was super daunting considering I was enlisted. That seems a little creepy. I got texts from some of my friends while we were still out to pick them up some cigarettes because they assumed I was going to bomb on this date. So that felt great. When we got back to the base, I got her to come back to my room, and she wanted to play PlayStation. Okay.
Okay.
I realized this was going to be harder to make a move than watching a movie. While we were playing, she kept looking at her phone and speaking under her breath. Well, she all of a sudden said she had to go and hugged me goodnight. I hadn't smoked all night, so I went outside to smoke. From the smoke pit, I saw her leave the barracks and walk towards the front gate of the base. A little weird, but whatever. I went back inside and was sitting with the Marines on duty that sit at the front entrance of the barracks. Well, she comes in with another guy.
Wow.
A guy that I know, and he sees me and daps me up. I'm just sitting here stunned. They leave the room and went back to her room. I ended up sitting with the Marines on duty because I didn't want to go to my room and be sad. Ended up with being really cool with one of the Marines I met that night. Also didn't buy my friend cigarettes.
Ouch.
That's just kind of a
Ouch.
sad story,
That is a
man.
sad
Sorry,
story.
Christian.
That is a
brutal.
Like, do you
What's
think
up, bro? How you been?
Do you
Putting in
think?
that work, dude.
Do you think that guy knew?
I don't think he did.
Surely
just
not.
Like outside
No, he
looking
didn't.
in, you
He
know what I
didn't.
mean?
He's just like, yeah, man, what's up?
Yeah.
Well, she knew.
have you met my girl?
Yeah, she sucks at PlayStation.
Oh man, okay. Let's see. I am Elias. I don't know. On Twitter.
Elias?
That's probably it.
Elias.
We'll go Eli.
Elias is my alias.
It wasn't the date itself, but when in high school I was dropping my date off and parked directly in front of her car, I forgot to put it in park. Needless to say, when I went to walk her to the door, my car crashed into hers.
Bro, that might be the winner.
Knock, knock, knock.
That'd be the
You
winner.
ready? I crashed your car.
You know what? We should stay in tonight.
I'm here to pick you up, and you need a bumper.
Let's see. At Mark Young, LSU, Auburn earthquake game, 1988 in student section. I got wasted. My embarrassed date left with another guy, and I don't even remember the winning touchdown.
Wow. Bro. Sorry,
This
man.
in the earthquake game.
Yeah.
Let's see. At Tassan Chase, my worst date was Christmas time. My then girlfriend, 10-year-old sis, and myself are backseat looking at Christmas lights, and my sister farts loudly, and an unholy smell fills the car. She then cannot stop laughing and continues to do it as my girlfriend retches.
God,
You're
bro.
like,
horrible.
Talk about a block.
I mean, yes.
You're not helping me out at all here.
I mean,
wow.
you're just going to keep doing
What
that?
are we doing
You're
here?
going to keep
Wrong
doing
with
that?
you.
And then we had NyQuil. I like NyQuil's Dilwad's story about popping his pimple.
Yeah. He ended up marrying her.
Yeah, so he's like married to Miss Dilwad. She obviously was cool with it. I mean, you know, you got to play it off. We have your story, the yakking in the car story. That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
There are a couple more that were entered in. I can't read all of them out loud, so we're just gonna leave the out loud ones there. I like the car crash one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I mean, if we're voting,
I think we're voting.
yeah, I mean, if we're voting,
Yeah.
I think the car crash one. I mean, how funny of a moment to like witness third hand.
Right.
Like, look at this guy walking in. And he's
So
like,
nervous.
Yeah, right. Look, this guy left his car and drive.
Oh, no, no, no,
He left his car and drive. He's
Wait,
gonna hit the car. Oh my
How
God.
do you leave it in drive and get
On
out of
neutral?
it? Neutral. Maybe it was in
Maybe
neutral and it started to
neutral,
roll.
yes.
Maybe he didn't even turn the car off. You know, like
Yes.
I'm gonna pop in and we'll pop back.
Oh, that's another good question. He left the car running.
Yes. I mean,
Literally.
so,
I can relate to the nerves though. The nerves are relatable.
so you know the crawfish guy on Burbank across the street from Lakeside Daiquiri?
Yes,
You know him?
yes.
So that's
Yeah.
Al Lorio, who's a childhood. My dad and him are like good friends from way back. I stopped by right when Al started to do the live crawfish. By the way, he's the one that gave the initial recipe to Sammy's Grill for their crawfish. He is the one that he's the man. I mean, his crawfish are the best. And when he converted what was his wooden signs, he has a wooden signs business. That was very prevalent and relevant for a while. I think that's kind of gone out out of date, and he's kind of transitioned into crawfish. And he was making that transition. I went over there. He's got horse stables in the back, and I pulled up in the back. And at the time, I was driving a little Acura 4-door sedan, and I got out. And it was a sunshiny day, and for whatever reason, I kept the car on, and I just popped it in neutral from drive and just ran in because I was going to see his operation.
But you thought you put it in park?
No, I didn't, but because I was just running in and running right back out. I don't know why I did. I was
That's a
young.
tricky
It was
move.
stupid.
What are we doing there?
It was dumb. It was dumb.
I'm not
It was
sure if
dumb.
that's the play.
Next time you're at Al's, ask him about this. We come outside to walk, I go in, see the operation. It's all good. Nice job, man. This looks great. This is awesome, man. All right, I'll see you later. We're walking out. We're just kind of BSing as we're walking out. My car is running, and it's like jammed into the horse stables, and the two like boards are cracked, and the horses are like jumping in the stable.
Oh my god.
And you could tell he was like, "You asshole." Did you leave your car running?
What are we doing
Yeah,
here,
like, what are you
man?
doing, man?
I mean, that was kind of my question when you even started the story.
Yes, it was dumb. I was young. I mean, I was
yeah,
like
you were just
24,
running
25
in.
years
You were
old. I just
just-
want to run in, run out real quick.
What
come
does
out
neutral
and-
do?
Yeah,
Was-
right.
I mean, it still runs your
What's
car.
the N stand for? Not anyone go anywhere, right? Is that it?
Mike texted in, part of our team, Mike, who's not here today. You can't win, Mike, because, you know,
Yes.
you're part of the
Yeah,
team. But his worst date, went to a Cinco de Mayo party. Fast forward to hours later when she's bailing me out of jail after I abandoned her at the party.
Damn, Mike.
Ooh, Mike.
Sheesh.
What do you think that phone call was like?
He must have done something right if she went back for him.
I guess that's true. She bailed you out.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
All right, so we are going to put the top three. Do we want to announce
No,
the
I
winner?
think we announced the winner, and
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with you too. So if you don't hear this, then I will tweet you. But I think it was
Car?
It was the car one, yeah. I am, what did we just said?
Elias.
Elias. I don't know why I can't say that. That's weird.
Eli.
Elias?
Elias.
Yep, you win. I'll get in touch with you, and
Nice.
you will win 20 units of Botox and a teeth whitening kit from Johnson and Spillers.
And shout out to Dr. Spillers and Dr. Johnson for the great giveaway and for the continued support of the Jordy Culotta Show. Dr. Spillers has been here since day one. He, along with his partner, Dr. Johnson, and we always appreciate that, and for helping us out with some pretty cool giveaways here right before Valentine's Day. So congratulations to Eli and
Our boy.
and his
Elias.
crew. Yeah, right.
Somebody wants a shoe check from you. What we got going on here?
Shoe check is the Chris Jacksons that he wore on the cover of
That's what they
the
think.
That's what
That's what they
Yes,
thought.
that's
That's what they
right.
thought.
The 89. Watch yourself. Yes, that's right. I mean, these are the originals too, man.
Oh, look at them.
They're fine.
Those are fresh.
Yeah, Bo Jacksons.
Let's go.
Bo Jackson.
That's what.
Traders.
Well, so that's what someone thought you had on, but they
Yes.
wanted a little like confirmation
That's what's up.
action going on.
Confirmed. All right, we'll throw up the top 3 on the Twitter today. Make sure on the Twitters on the Twitter.
On the Twitters,
Make sure you vote
that
on
Twitter
it.
machine.
Make sure you vote on it. We appreciate the interaction for Nikki and Katie behind the camera. For Lloyd and Katie behind the camera. Nick, Rivers, and Jordy signing off. Go Chevrolet, driving us every day. We'll be back with you. Remember, check out the podcast, RMB Builders. RMB Builders, rmb-builders.com. And we are still waiting on the sticker for Sam Willard's fat head to put on the basketball goal so we can tell you about all the great clothes he has over at Harper's Haberdashery and how you can win gift cards and giveaways here from the Jordy Culotta Show. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Jordy.itemorder.com for the drip.
Bye.
Bye.